Everybody doing? Hey, Dave. Hey, William or Bill. Hey, Anastasia. Everybody doing well? You excited for another great day? We were talking before the session today, the team, and we were just putting some final touches, not on today's session because that was already done, but for tomorrow's session with AI and some really cool new tools that are so much fun that we're going to show you tomorrow. How many of you are making progress, even though there's a lot of work? Are you being challenged? Are you making progress? Right, the keys: are you making progress mentally? Are you making progress emotionally? Are you making progress by upgrading your knowledge and your skills at all? The whole idea is when you're learning new stuff. You may recall when we get overwhelmed, that's where we're trying to process a lot of stuff, and in some cases it creates confusion. Right? Can anybody remind me of what confusion stands for? I've shared it for many, many years. If you think about when neurons, I'm sorry, and it is Thursday, not tomorrow. Tomorrow's a day off. Thursday is the AI day, right? Whenever the neurons in your brain, right, the brain cells fire, and when they wire, when the wiring is weak or new, right, that's just concepts getting fused. And through spaced repetition and practice, those neurons patterns become more fused, and we call that knowledge and skill and understanding. So if you're learning about this AI tool and that AI tool and avatars and marketing and neuromarketing, and it's newer to you, like marketing is like saying exercise, right? It's a category. And most people, it's like saying sales. Sales is a category, right? Driving is a category, right? And you can do basic stuff, but then there's advanced stuff and intermediate stuff. And so don't feel badly or worried that you're not getting it. It just takes some time to learn the language and the new skill. Does that make sense? Give me a thumbs up. And here's the question, right? Can you learn it with commitment? Can you learn it with commitment? Even if you say, I don't want to learn it, can you make sure somehow it gets done because now you understand what needs to get done? The job of an entrepreneur, a CEO, is not to do everything, but it's to figure out how to get whatever is needed done, whether yourself and AI, yourself and somebody else that works part-time or full-time in the United States, Canada, or wherever you live, or overseas, where you can hire people for $6, $7, $8 an hour. In some countries, that's their minimum wage, and that's a great way to leverage a lower cost team member. But a combination between you, AI, and at the right time, maybe another individual or two can help you. But the era that we have just entered into is the era of agentic AI, where agents will be employees, right, within a company. And a lot of people are talking about the HR departments of companies of the future are managed by their technology team, not an HR director, because they're actually software that they're managing to do the work. Do you all get what I just said? Right? And AI will replace certain roles, but it'll also create new roles. So we just need to be on the cutting edge and adapt. All right, so today we put a lot of the pieces together today. I don't know if today's my favorite day or is Thursday going to be my favorite day. Can you all see my screen? We're going to talk about sales process mapping and tying everything from A to Z of what you need to get done. One of the things that we help our students get done is develop the marketing that leads to the sales, that leads to the revenue and the profits, and creating as much of it in a predictable fashion based on your knowledge, your skills, and your goals. So all of your strategies and everything you do should be towards reaching a goal. It's no different than you want to lose 10 pounds of fat. Then you're going to focus on nutrition, meaning calories in, calories out. That is the number one way, just so you all know, to release weight. And then you want to focus on a bit of exercise, even though the latest research says it doesn't have a material impact that much in the first 90 days. It can, but not a material impact. Sleep, leptin levels, etc. So there's a strategy to achieve every goal. So we're going to focus on what are the things that you need to put in place to reach your goals. We've talked about a lot of different stuff. The avatar, we've talked about neuromarketing to get the right messaging. And if you recall, we had the business success puzzle solved at the beginning of the avatar with the program, product, or service that you have with the right communications, online, offline, in person, one-on-one, or one-to-many. Then we choose the channels, then we choose the strategies, and we build our sales and marketing process map. Give me a thumbs up if logically that just makes sense. Like building a house, vision and goals first, then we build the infrastructure. So today, we're going to talk about three things: the marketing sales process mapping, and it's critical; the inner game, which is going to determine whether you win or lose this game or not. Not that you win or lose, but whether you really succeed at the level you can, is based on what's happening inside your head. I'll do a little bit deeper dive on some of the facets of the winning game of business coaching program, and we'll invite many more of you to determine if this is right for you. So let's go right to the presentation. All right. Couple rules for business success. Let me know in the chat if you agree. If we don't have clarity on the vision and goals, it's really impossible to develop a plan on how to achieve it or get there, right? Agree? So rule one, which many of you worked on day one, is getting clarity on your vision and goals. And if you don't have a vision, and goals of where you need to be, then you need to work on that. Identifying the gap, right? How many of you have identified that there's a gap in your game, right? There's a hole. A gap is a hole. There's a chasm, right? Right? There's a gap. You have to understand, what are the gaps? What are the obstacles in your way? Can you do me a favor and like give me one obstacle that's in your way of building your dream business? Or let me know what a gap is that you have. So knowledge. Okay, Morton. So a gap is knowledge. So Bill, time. Okay. Debbie or Deb, focus. Christina, skills. Carolyn, process. Yeah. No regular cash clients and then too many to deal with. Right. So the obstacle is there's no process, right, for regular clients. Guy, you're moving to France soon. Okay. So that's an obstacle. Right. Inner skills, process. Yeah. So in the absence of filling the gaps and coming up with strategies for the obstacles, they never go away. So we have to develop, right, a plan. Social media, moving to Canada soon. Awesome. Where in Canada are you moving, Aisha? I used to live in Montreal, Toronto, and Vancouver. Right. So identifying the gap. Then obviously, the goal is to create a plan to overcome the obstacles, right? Logical. To bridge the gap. Right. Then you've got to build the machine, right? You've got to build the machine. Montreal's where I grew up. All right. Build the machine. You've got to build systems and processes, right? And we've already established why 90+% of businesses fail and 70% of franchises succeed. Right? That's a huge variance. 90% of businesses fail, 70% of franchises succeed. Now, how many of you would agree that if you had a blueprint to follow, you could succeed a lot more predictably? Right? If you had a plan to follow, you could succeed a lot more predictably, right? So building the machine, and then your job is to manage growth intelligently and scale intelligently, right? Which means you don't want to grow too slow or too fast, because sometimes the systems that you put together today are not the systems you need for tomorrow. So you always have to be, 6 to 12 months ahead of where you are as a small business owner. You have to predict the future and build the systems and processes and people and infrastructure for where you're going, not for where you are. Would you agree with that? Right? Because if you get to where you are and say, okay, now I don't have the technology, I don't have the tech stack, I don't have the people to take care of all the clients. I don't have we always have to be 6 to 12 months ahead of where we are. Right. So these are some of the rules you want to be following. And how many of you would agree if you followed this 5 rules or 6 rules over here, 5 rules, you would be a better entrepreneur? Yes? Yeah, you'd just be a better entrepreneur. Now, most people don't invest the time to do this, even though this is what you have to do. And many people are caught up working in the business versus on the business. Everybody know what that means? In the business versus on the business? When you're working on the business, you're thinking about your plans, your structure, your team, your products and services, that'll help you achieve your goals and dreams, right? You're building the machine. When you're working in the business, for example, like I'm working in my business right now. I am performing, right? I am teaching right now. I'm working in the business. Now, while I'm working in the business, my team is watching, right? And then basically tweaking what we do each day, each month, each week, each year. Okay. So you want to do a little bit of both. And I know it's hard when you're starting out or when you've been in business for a year or 2 or 3 and nobody's taught you how to put in these systems. And it becomes exhausting. It becomes exhausting. So let's talk about one of the most important pieces to your business. And I would venture to say that 9 out of 10 of you do not have an end-to-end sales process. Would I be accurate? An end-to-end sales process. And I'm going to show you what an end-to-end sales process is in a simple way. And this is one of the first things that we work on in our coaching program is we make sure that, you actually have your infrastructure in place to be able to build a business predictably. So here's what it looks like. Let's take a look together on the left side, right? Would you agree, and this is interactive today, all right? Would you agree, interactive as far as talk with me, right? Would you agree that somehow, right, you have to focus on building your personal brand, which is attached to your business brand, and you have to build some kind of a following, whether it's paid or not paid. You have to get enough people to notice you, right? To say, okay, there's this person, Christina or Guy or Hans or Lisa or Mary or Carolyn or Jeff or John or Susie or Anastasia. There's this gal, Alice, and here's what she does. Here's who she helps. Here's the problem she helps solve. Here's the expertise, she has. Here's the product that she has that can help me. Here's the service, the class, the coaching, the consulting, the legal, the engineering, the blueprint. Here's who this person is. Do you know how many impressions it takes today for people to remember what you do? How many touch points do you think it takes today for people to even remember remotely what you do? It used to be 17, Elias. The estimation is now 35 to 50. 35 to 50. So, for example, if you're posting once a week, it's going to take you a year, but people won't even remember you, after a year because there's just too much time in between. There are people that you may have seen that are posting 100 times a day, 24 hours a day, around the clock using AI, and their brand awareness is skyrocketing. Why? because the algorithms love that they're producing so much content, and they're taking that same content that they might be putting, let's say, on Instagram, and they're creating content for several other channels. And we call that circular virality. Circular virality is taking, a piece of content and circulating it around all the different social media channels, for example, to create some kind of a viral impact. And when one or two out of your 10 posts really connect with people, a few of them go viral and increase your impact significantly. Does that make sense, everyone? So part of the goal is to create a machine using AI, right, to help you build your brand awareness. And the rule right now is you want to be posting a minimum, and this is social, I'm not talking about ads right now, because ads you're going to pay for, a minimum of one time a day on the 2 or 3 channels you need to be on, preferably 3 to 5 posts a day. And I know it sounds like a lot. I know it's overwhelming and sounds like a lot, but that's the game. If you're doing social, that's the game. If you don't want to play it, just make a decision. I don't want to play the game. I'm going to say, okay, so you don't want to use social to generate leads. That's fine. I mean, that is totally fine. How will you generate leads? Are you going to pay for ads and get really good at advertising? Bill, that's a belief you have. It's not true. So are you going to do ads? Great. Then you better get really good at ads, and you better understand how to create ads that convert. You don't want to do that? Okay. How are you going to get leads? Are you going to create, AI videos? And I'll show you on Thursday a couple of tools to use. Are you going to use memes like I showed you yesterday, or graphics? Are you going to just share personal stuff? Are you going to create a private community? And if you do, how are you going to get people to join it? Like, you have to answer this question. How am I going to build my brand and generate enough leads that convert into paying customers so that I achieve my goal that I asked all of you yesterday? Many of you know exactly how much you want to earn, and you have no clue how you're going to get the leads you need and qualify them to make the sale. Would I be accurate in that? So you said that you want to go to Hawaii, but you don't know if you're going by land, by boat, by bicycle, by swimming. You have no plan to get to the destination. And so you're going to spin your wheels, hoping and praying, but no plan. Does anybody know what PPP equals PPP? Somebody type this in the chat. PPP equals PPP. PPP equals PPP. Piss poor planning equals piss poor performance. Piss poor planning. 95% of small business owners, maybe even 98%, do not have a proper end-to-end sales and marketing blueprint. They have their goals. They maybe have a vision of what kind of lifestyle they want, but zero plan that is like well thought out. So we have to connect, educate, build a following, and get leads. Agree or disagree on part 1? Like, it doesn't make sense for you to do anything else until you get 1 done. And many of you are like, nope, don't want to do that. It's like, okay, but that's where it all starts. So that's number 1. Then once we start creating, what our ad or content machine is, or for some of you, I'm going to go on a speaking tour. I'm going to find places to go to speak in front of audiences, and then I will sell. I will sell while I'm on stage. Or my process is going to be to get on 10 podcasts a week, and on those podcasts, I'm going to get people to follow me. Oh, okay, I'm fine with that. Some of you say, you know what, I'm just going to go to trade shows. I'm just going to meet my ideal avatar at the trade shows that they go to. Fine, go to those. You can use one strategy to do that. I have a friend of mine now. He's somebody I shared his website with all of you, sparstreet.com, the artist, world-renowned artist. He has only two ways that he gets his referrals for his $25 to $500,000 pieces of art. Number one is he gets referrals from a lot of people. You know what his number one strategy is? He's 6'6". He used to be a world-class skier. So you know what he does? He doesn't want to do social. He doesn't want to do network. He doesn't want to do anything like that. Do you know what he discovered was his best way to get his ideal clients and to start branding himself? He goes around the world to heli ski. And he meets with people who are millionaires and multimillionaires and billionaires. And that's how he gets his business every year, millions of dollars. Go look at his list of who his top clients are. And Lisa, that is correct. Wealthy people ski. SPAR, S-P-A-R. I'll type it into the chat. All right. S-P-A-R. S-T-R-E-E-T, Spar Street. So he goes to where his fish are. I have 10 of his pieces of art here in our home. So that's his strategy. Yes, he goes heli skiing. Why? He loves to heli ski. He's a world-class heli skier. He brings all of his, his manuals and his work, and that's all he does. And every once in a while, he goes to events where those people are, and he meets them there every once in a while. So that's his strategy, because he's going to where the fish are. So isn't the game to discover where you're going to do this, and then, right, once you have people in your on your social, in your private community, on an email list, okay, then isn't your job to see if we can move them through the sales process by qualifying them? Do they have an interest? Do they have a need? Can they afford it? So we can have quizzes. We can say, hey, if you'd like the ebook on this topic, right? Whether it's a legal topic, whether it's a coaching topic, it doesn't matter what it is. We want to go from the 100 right down to the 20, from the 20 to the 5. So sometimes we could do this like in seconds. If we're at a party and somebody says, what do you do? And you have your elevator pitch. Well, do you know how there's a lot of people who suffer from blank? Well, what I do is help them get rid of it in 7 days or less. And if they say to you, wow, how do you do that? That's one qualification process, because they want to find out more. Finding out more is the barrier, okay, for an easy qualification process. But many of you are saying, I'm a coach, I'm a lawyer, I'm a real estate broker, I'm an investor. And you're not identifying the problem, giving the solution, so somebody can say, oh, wow, my sister needs that, my brother needs that. That's really interesting. Tell me more. Tell me more is one step away from, oh, that sounds cool. Well, what I do is blank. And now they talk about themselves. Every part of the face-to-face, one-on-one, one-to-many has a communication strategy to qualify. Right? I'll give you an example. Every Saturday we have, a 6-hour brain-a-thon that's automated. For every 1,000 people that sign up, 300 show up. Now, if somebody signs up and does not show up, doesn't that tell you their level of commitment to what they signed up for? Now, if somebody shows up, then okay, they're there in the 20%, because at least they're showing up. Now, with the 70%, you could see if you can move them either to show up another time. But the 20%, the 80%, excuse me, but the 20% have taken one step further than the other 80, right? So we're looking for qualification along the way to keep moving forward or to move them out. So we invest the time with the people, right, that have more of an interest. So we're going to go from interest to desire. And if you can help them, then, right, then and only then in micro commitments first. Like, unless somebody has a bleeding neck, they're not needing to go to the emergency room. Every once in a while, all of us will find somebody that you meet them, you tell them what you do. They go, oh my God, I need that right now. And they'll buy from you. How many of you have had that happen? Or they say, oh my God, my friend needs this, my husband, my wife, right? Every once in a while you meet someone and say, oh my God, we're looking for that right now. Those are the freebies. The rest we need to put through a process. And then we want to get to the point at the right time to create an irresistible offer of immense value. Of immense value. Why? Do you know what your biggest cost is in business other than delivering your program, product, or service? Anybody know? What's your biggest cost? Anybody know? Well, not reputation, time. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Your acquisition cost. How much it costs you to get somebody to say yes, right? So you've invested the time, energy, money, whatever, to get them to say yes. So why not create an irresistible offer, right, that they want to buy from you? Have any of you ever heard of LTV? LTV. LTV. I'm going to write that into your chat. When you're working on business, LTV is lifetime value. Lifetime value, right? The lifetime value isn't based on the first purchase. The lifetime value is how much they will invest with you over the lifetime of your relationship. Right? So let's say somebody buys something from you today for $100 or $1,000 or $5,000. And let's say you gave them just incredible value. If you delivered on what you promised, do you think they're going to go somewhere else when they need that thing again from you? Or do you think they're going to not recommend you if you've gone above and beyond? Let me show you an example. I'm not sure exactly who's here. I see some familiar faces, but how many of you have invested in more than one of my programs, products, or services? Just put in the chat. Just say yes, me. Right? Now, my cost to have you invest in the Business Breakthrough Challenge was zero because we're friends or we have a relationship. Right? And hopefully you're here because of the value you've received from my team and I, and you know what to expect. So it may cost me, for example, in one of my programs, Win a Game of Business, on a $1,500 initial sale, it cost me $600 to $800 to make that first sale. So our gross margins is only like $700, but many of those people end up investing in other programs over the next 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. How long have you known me? Let me know in the chat. Is it 3 months, 1 month, a year, 10 years, 5 years? How long have you known me? You know, been in my environment. Look at this, 25 years, 15 years, 4 years, 25 years, and I stay in touch, right? So we build the brand, the trust, the rapport. We give insane value, create irresistible offers with guarantees, right? And when you put the psychological pieces together, right, where you offer immense value, you offer guarantees if you can, you use urgency and scarcity when you can. You create limited time offers if they're real. You reverse the risk so that you take the risk, not your prospect, especially on the front end when they don't know you, trust you, or love you yet. You give them undeniable social proof over and over and over again of real people. Like, by the way, how many of you like the Vicky video? Right? In her own words, right? Just humble from, we have, I mean, thousands of them, right? So we want to build this process and we want to think of how can I create an irresistible offer? Maybe the irresistible offer initially is free. Maybe it's free. Maybe it's a book. Maybe it's a video. Maybe it's a checklist. Maybe it's a workbook. Maybe it's a free consultation to give value in advance. Why do we give value in advance? To build trust, to build rapport, to elicit reciprocity of people moving forward with you and give great value so that you can get to the point if there is a need to make an offer to help them, right? And then for some of you, all right, what we want to do is create, okay, if it's applicable, enhancers, accelerators, things that are exciters and solve their problem. And that in the marketing world is called an upsell. It's an enhancer or an accelerator. So how many of you have gone into a store and you've bought a piece of clothing and then they say, by the way, there's a jacket, a tie, a belt, a wallet, a handkerchief, a pair of socks that would go great with that. Isn't that an enhancer? How many of you have ever bought a service? You bought it and they say, by the way, if you'd like us to come and put it together or install it, it's an extra $75 or $100. You bought, something that you can install it yourself, or for an extra bit of money, there's a way for us to help you do it. So you want to think about these. Many of you, when you signed up for general admission, we gave you the opportunity to sign up for VIP. And over 55% of you took advantage of it. Some of you even signed up yesterday for VIP because you wanted the lifetime access to the videos and the manuals and the PowerPoints. So you invest an extra $97, right? For those of you that are in VIP right now, was it worth it for the extra 2 hours a day that we've been doing? Was it worth it? Yes or no? Like, look, yes, VIP worth it. Yes. Look at this, 10 of them, 20 of them, right? Now, wouldn't I have done you a disservice by not offering it to you? Right? I consider it a disservice not to give those of you added value. Now, of course, I expect fair compensation for it, and I could have charged more. But I said, no, I want as many people to take advantage of it. Why? Because I know that when people experience the coaching, the consulting, they want to continue. Right? That's exactly right, Tim. It's a disservice not to offer an enhancer or accelerator. There are some people that want to go faster. Some people want to go deeper. There's some people that want 3 of them. Like, I'll give you an example. You see this shirt over here? I was at the Waldorf Astoria in Orange County. And at the end of every year, Maria and I usually go to the spa there for 3 to 5 nights. And I saw this shirt. I went into the room to buy it, and it fit great. I really like the color of it. It's nice. It's long. It's a brand I never got before. And the gal said to me, "Hold on one second." I said, "What?" She went to the back. She brought me 4 other colors. I said, "I'll take them all. Thank you." I went at, I think it was $150, maybe $120. I ended up spending, another $800 or $600. I also got a blue belt. And, so I went in there to buy 1 shirt. I ended up with 5 of them. I'm happy about it. I'm talking about it today. She would have been doing a disservice to me if she didn't show me the other colors, right? So think about what is it that I can offer when somebody's making their first purchase. Now think about this. Do you know when the number 1 and number 2 best time is to give people enhancers and accelerators? When's the best time? Checkout, right? When they are buying the first thing. Why? Because their buying circuit is turned on. There's a buy circuit in the brain. It's called the reward dopamine circuit, right? So when somebody's saying, "Hey, yeah, I want to hire you for an hour," say, "Hey, listen, if you take 3 sessions, I'll give you a better deal, or I'll give you 1 session for free." right? BOGO, buy one, get one free. There's a lot of different ways, to do this, right? If they say no to that, then do you want to have a downsell, a lower priced item that still can help them, right? And then once they buy, you want to build in advance the nurture sequence. So how many of you have been receiving emails and some of you texts of the calls, the events? Do you think we write those every day? Do you think when Ron decided to sign up for BBC and Jeff did, that we wrote an individual email to Jeff or Ron or Allison or Anastasia? Or do you think we thought about when somebody buys general admission, here's the email they're going to get? And here's the reminders they're going to get. And if they upgrade to VIP, okay, here's the email sequence they're going to get. Here's the text sequence they're going to get. The only thing we do in having done these Business Breakthrough Challenge, I think, 8 times in the last few years, is change the dates. And AI can do that now for us. Are you understanding, right? You create your follow-up sequences and you automate them. Email, text, call, meet, whatever. Now, go back to the irresistible offer. Let's say you give them an irresistible offer and they say no, or they don't take it. Shouldn't you set up your follow-up sequence for people who do not buy, to nurture them, educate them, give them value, and you keep them in your orbit around the thing that they initially were interested in? Why not design and build that in advance? So that you can get to the point of a second offer, and then you can take care of them. This is an end-to-end sequence, part one. Does this make sense, everybody? Would I be correct that you don't have an end-to-end process that's predictable? Would I be correct? And if it's partially done, you don't have it done. Kind of, sort of, maybe. Now, isn't this the equivalent of a blueprint to build your home? But this is your blueprint to build your business? So you're trying to build a business and you don't have your blueprint. And you're wondering why you don't have enough leads and sales and revenue and profits. To stop wondering why. It's like having, milk and eggs and 3 chocolate chips and you're trying to bake a chocolate cake. I don't care how much time you spend in the kitchen. I don't care what order you put those 3 in there. You ain't baking a chocolate cake today or this week or this month. And I don't care how many hours you spend doing it. So when we're looking, at building the machine, right, we have to, build this infrastructure in a smart way. And then when we have a prospect, right, a lead, then we can put them into whether it's a master class that we do, free or paid, micro commitments, in-person training. Okay, if you're doing local events at a church, at the YMCA, at the library, it doesn't matter. It may be creating a weekly newsletter. It may be asking for a phone consultation, in-person meeting, a small offer, ebooks, video series, something, right, to educate so you can get to that opportunity with the right people, all right, at the right time. How many of you are using newsletters right now? How many of you are doing master classes or want to? Which one, Susan and Anne? Newsletters, master classes, newsletters, masterclass, Morton, great. How many of you have got ebooks, weekly newsletter? Awesome. Awesome. Great. Consistency is key and remarkable content is key. If you have newsletters, I want you to think about this. Think of how many emails or newsletters are you okay getting if you have a really, really, if you have a hobby you really, really love. right? You could send somebody one piece of content a day if it's around something they really want to get better at. I'll give you an example. I get 5 different newsletters a day on AI. 5. This morning at 7 a.m. while I was working out, I was watching an AI training on agentic AI and some really great workflows because I want to consume it every day, right? I mentioned to you, I invest, about 10 hours a week right now to 15 hours a week learning more about AI, the simple stuff and the complex stuff. So for people who are following your work, some of you, you could be mailing something every day and people would be like, wow, that's awesome that he, she, they are sending me great bits of information around what it is that I want. And there's some CRM tools that allow you to ask people, do you want to receive an email a day, email a week? What do you want? Okay. So does this make sense that we have to be focusing on a process and we have to get to the point where we know where the point is for us to convert the people who want, need, and can afford what we have into the first offer, right? And if they say no, we're going to nurture them and we're going to build our nurturing sequence. And if they follow through, then you invite them to help them later. If they say yes, you fill and serve, and you could just keep people in your orbit around your program, product, or service. Is this helpful? I want to take some extra time on this, everybody, because this is one of the most important things we can do, all right, to help you understand what is missing. Your gap, for many of you, is this. Your gap is this. And without this, you have no blueprint to get to where you want to go. And you don't want to have a newsletter every day, but you can have bits of content and pieces every day if you wanted to. You don't have to. So if you're going to be doing a webinar or a masterclass, all right, I'm not answering questions in the chat, Diego. Save them till later, please. All right. If you're going to be doing a webinar or masterclass, if you think about week one, you do promotion 7 days before. Week 2, you do a live session. Week 3, you could do a replay. Week 4, 2 weeks later, you could follow up into something else. So if you follow, this process of, remember I showed you the funnel the other day, top of funnel, bottom of funnel, opportunities, pitch and propose, and deals. If you think about, promoting your event about a week in advance, for our Business Breakthrough Challenge, we usually do about 10 days in advance because we do something called seeding, SEEDING, where we'll be talking about, business growth stuff. Right. And you want to just understand that everything has a process, including your social media. Right. If you think about 1,000 social media followers versus 1,000 email subscribers, which would you prefer to have? 1,000 followers or 1,000 email subscribers? Followers is almost a waste of time. I have 1.5 million followers on social media. And you have to remember that when I post something, they don't show it. The algorithms don't open it up to everybody who's following me. The platforms want me to pay to reach them. So I've got to create remarkable content to create engagement. And from the engagement, I have to move them off of social media into email. So the old days of, let me build my following. I know people have a following of 30,000 people that make more than people who have following of 1 million people. You know why? They use their social, all right, almost as a get in touch with a variety of different ways to get new followers and to create some engagement. But the purpose of the social media is to get people off of social media into your email list because you can control that a lot better. And email plus text is 10 times better. Email plus text Plus, let's say a private WhatsApp community or Signal community is even better. Do you know why WhatsApp is growing fast right now? WhatsApp is because it's mobile phone based, and 99% of people get their messages if they have notifications turned on. So you want to do your social media, not email customers, email list. They're not necessarily customers, Morton. An email list, okay? If you have 1,000 followers, it's worth about $79 a month to you. If you have 1,000 emails on average, it's worth $582 to you. Is this resonating with all of you? So some of you are like, I need to do social media. And I go, for what? To build my following. I go, for what? If you don't have the next part of the equation, you're going to spend a lot of time on social media and you're not going to get the financial rewards you want. Susan, you do not brand, you don't reach your brand on social media. Let me give you a statistic. Let's say I post, let me turn off my camera. Pay attention to what I'm about to say, everybody. This will save you a lot of brain power. And let's do a little participation time. Let's say I post a video on my Instagram Reels. Okay, everybody knows Instagram Reels, right? We have our wall, our main posting page where we paste, some short videos. But if I do a reel, let's say, I have 100 people on my list. Forget about I have 400,000 on Instagram. But let's say I have 100. How many people do you think Instagram shows your video to in the first, let's say, minute? Out of 100. So Tim says 12, Morton says 10, Patricia says 2. 2 to 5. 2 to 5%. So they will show it to 2 to 5 of those people that are watching you, that are following you, if they're online, right? If they're online. So just because you have followers doesn't mean they're online when you post. But let's say it's 5. All right. What would cause Instagram to show it to another 10? What is the algorithm doing in the background? Now let's understand the psychology of Instagram. We're going to stick with Instagram for now. It applies to all of them. So what is the number one priority for the platform, for Instagram? Keep you on the platform. Why would they want to keep people on the platform? How do they make money? People on the platform, they could serve more ads, right? And or they can get ad dollars from people like me that are in the feed. So let's say you reach 5 people organically, which is probably 2 to 5. But let's say it's 5. And let's say you have a video that's 60 seconds and people watch it for 5 seconds and then leave. What do you think Instagram algorithm does? It's like, cuts you off at the knees. Goodbye. But if your videos watch 30, 40, 50, 60 seconds, what does that tell the algorithm? It's something interesting to this person, right? And then what if that person likes it, comments, saves it, and shares it? Now that 5 algorithm, do you know what happens to it? It goes to 50, 60, 70. So don't create content. Create remarkable content for your ideal avatar with outstanding hooks and content that will engage them and keep them on the platform. And if you don't do that, you're just wasting your time and money. So why do we want to use AI? Why do we want to use AI to say, here's my avatar, help me create hooks, help me create topics, help me create points of interest, help me create things that will get my audience engaged and like it, share it, communicate, and keep engagement. So stop creating content. Start creating content that will meet and exceed your prospects' expectations. Good hook, good messages, good curiosity, good techniques. Is this resonating, everybody? I prefer to create one great piece of content a day that you think about than 5 shitty ones. Because you're training the algorithms. You're training the algorithms. And they want influencers, which you are, content creators, to cater to their customers. It's not your customers. You think it's your followers? No, it's their customers. It's their followers. They're following Instagram. Every platform is different, Theodosia. And each channel within the platform is different and has different purposes. Okay. All right. So are we on the same page with the art and science of this? Yes? No? How many of you just figured out that you have a major gap in your game that if you don't fix will result in you not achieving your goals this year? Right? That's just a dose of reality. Right? That's just a dose of reality. All right? Gap moi, Martha. All right. Can I shift over to the mindset piece of all of this? And the first few days, we talked about your prospects, Einstein brain, Frankenstein brain. Some of you have seen up on top of my, thing, Einstein over there, Frankie's monster over there. Why do you think I have those, behind me? Of course, to teach, but also it's to remind me that I have a part of my brain that works for me and another part of my brain that works to protect me, right? And to keep me safe and secure. And there's another part of me that keeps me in my comfort zone, in my habitual zone, and wants me to keep staying stuck. So let me share with you what I've discovered in literally 45 years now of behavioral neuroscience research and understanding the outer game and inner game. Would you agree with this statement? Yes or no? What separates the best or the successful from the unsuccessful or the rest is mindset. It's mindset, right? What is mindset? Like, what is mindset? The inner game? Great. What is the inner game? Explain it to me. State of being? Okay, well, it's part of your game. Self-talk? Okay. The emotional status? What do you mean by that? The emotional status, your emotional state. So Theodosia, the way you think, sure. Your perception, your convictions, the way we see the world, the way you approach situation, and what is your dialogue? Yeah. Susan, your beliefs, okay. What else is mindset? Like, think about it, mindset. How many of you have a good mindset? Carol Dweck's book, Mindset, right? Growth mindset or fixed mindset. Growth mindset, you're open to learning, discovering. You're open to seeing a different perspective, right? A closed mindset is, nope, I'm just the way I am. Is your self-image and identity part of your mindset? Yeah. What's identity? What is your identity? I want to go below, right, the surface. Who we think we are, right? Who we think we are. And then do we act consistently with who we believe we are? Do we act consistently with what we believe is possible or true? Alice, no? No? After you put everything you put after your I am blank, I am not blank, I can blank, I cannot blank. Do we all have stories? Do we all have stories? And don't our stories shape our reality? So it's a combination of our beliefs, our self-image, self-worth, expectations, perspectives, identity, our emotions, our worldview. So do we rise up to our vision and goals, or do we rise up to the level of our identity, our beliefs, and our expectations at a subconscious level? Which one? We rise up to the level of our identity, our beliefs, and our subconscious. So let's talk, a little bit more about this. How does your brain help you or hinder you from achieving your financial or business goals? Let me see if we can say. So how does your brain help you or hinder you? So Hans, we need to shift our identity, match our goals. So Linda, unless our belief system about ourselves and what's possible for us is in alignment with our subconscious, there may be a gap. Fears hinder you? Okay, what kind of fears, Guy? Fear is a category. What kind of fears hold you and or us hostage? Head and heart have to be in alignment. Okay. Fears of failure. Okay. Is it fear of failure that holds us back, or what we believe will happen as a result of failure? What we think we will think about ourselves? A lot of work. Depends on your money mindset. So this inner game is pretty serious, right? This inner game is pretty serious. And I want you to imagine an orchestra for just a moment. Just imagine an orchestra. And I'm going to use the brain as an example, and I'm going to tap into Einstein and Frankie over there. I want Einstein to represent your CEO, your conductor of the orchestra. And imagine that just like an orchestra that has a conductor, there's different players playing different, musical instruments. Everybody got that visual? What's your goal? Your goal, if you want the orchestra to play in harmony, flow, and in concert, in coherence, not incoherent, but in coherence, 2 words, right? Your job is to get everything working synergistically in flow. The energy, the vibration, the frequency has to be aligned, right? The vision, the goals, the mindset, the skill set. You have to create alignment. And when we don't have alignment, what do we have? Coherence is what we have in alignment, and chaos is what we have when we're not in alignment. So when our goals and our vision for our business is not in alignment, then there's something that's going on. There's something that's going on neuromechanically In my brain, I have this $100 billion brain. But if I'm not, you are not creating coherence and alignment, you have chaos. Chaos is the mother and father of overwhelm and confusion and disorganization. And when your financial and business goals are not in alignment with your subconscious conditioning, play along with this with me and just use your logical, smart brain to come up with the answers. Let's say your income goal. I want you to put your income goal, all right, that you shared with me yesterday over here. My income goal is $150,000 to $250,000. Fill in your number. What is your number? 100,000, 75,000, a million? What is it? Great. 100, 150,000. Let's say that's your goal. And if you achieve that goal, you can achieve that vision that you hold in your mind. All right. What if your subconscious, let's go to self-image now. What if your subconscious has this programming from when you were young and reinforced over the next 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years? What if your subconscious, all right, has this conditioning or program that you don't deserve to earn that much? You have a goal, conscious goal, but subconscious, I don't deserve it. I'm not worthy of it. What happens to behavior? What happens to emotions? Self-sabotage. Self-destructive behavior. Now, it's not intentional, but we have neural chaos going on. And a brain in chaos reverts back to safety. It reverts back to the old conditioning all the time. It has to make sure that the results match the subconscious conditioning, not the conscious desires. What if, again, we take what you need to do in your business. Let's say you say, I want to make 100,000, 50,000, 500,000. I need 100 new leads, a week or a month or a year. Doesn't matter. But right now, some of you are feeling that you're not smart enough to figure this out. And this is something you might be thinking or feeling in secret, or you feel you're too old to do this. You know what you need to do consciously. I need to generate 100 leads. Or 500 leads, or 50 leads, or 25. I need to put that system John said in place, but you feel like you're not smart enough to do it. Which wins? The conditioning or the goal? Now, you didn't develop this I'm not smart enough feeling, or I don't deserve this, or I'm not worthy of this today or yesterday. Well, easier said than done, Bill. Just do it. Income goal, 150,000. But what if, based on what you all told me, our emotional state is causing fear to activate? A very, very, very powerful series of neural circuits in our brain that releases which circuit, activates which circuit in the brain. Or which part of our nervous system, the sympathetic or the parasympathetic? Well, it doesn't trigger the amygdala. The amygdala processes emotions, Alice. Produces all emotions. But if and when the fear circuit, fear of failure, fear of being embarrassed if you try your best and fail, fear of being ashamed, judged, ridiculed, disappointed, rejected, right? Failing again. And that circuit is activated because the goal that you have is outside of your current self-image zone. It's out of your current belief zone. It's out of your current skill zone. It's out of your current comfort zone. Does Frankie activate the, what if you try again and it doesn't work for you? What if you repeat the same pattern you did last time you tried this? Do you go into protective mode to avoid pain or discomfort, to avoid losing money, time, energy, to hamper your self-image and self-worth even more than it's already hampered? Do you go into a protective mode, a familiarity and comfort zone so you stay safe? And in doing so, do you think you might actually be getting a reward for staying safe and protecting yourself? You just put yes or yes, because the answer is yes. It's called the law of secondary gain. When the first gain you want, the gain, the outcome, the vision, the goal, the lifestyle, the money, the freedom, the peace of mind, okay, is outside of your current mental or emotional or skill reach, you default and reward staying in your comfort zone. And most of you, actually, let me say some of you, have never learned how to feel emotions and control them. And the emotions that you've had since childhood that have been reinforced drive your life for safety and security, even though you want a better result. And you keep on staying on this hamster wheel over and over and over again. Is this making sense? And then let's say you come to a event like this for the first, second, or even third time, and you have your income goal, 150,000, whether it's a month or a year or a week, it doesn't matter. But you realize, holy shit, I don't have these AI skills. I don't have the knowledge John has or his team has or other people in here in this challenge have. So I don't have the skills. I don't have the knowledge. I don't have the process. I don't have the system. It's overwhelming. You know what you naturally will do? You know what you naturally will do? Law of secondary gain, Morton. You'll naturally move to safety, quit, self-sabotage, procrastinate, pull back. Not because you want to. You haven't been taught how to get out of your comfort zone safely because you haven't been taught self-talk, control, awareness, and emotional regulation techniques. By the way, do you know why every one of my programs now have either your basic exercises like in the app or advanced exercises for winning a business or money or fear or procrastination? To give you emotional control, to help you shift your mindset and your emotions to align with your vision, goals, and dreams. And when you do that at the same time as you upgrade your knowledge and skills, and you give your brain the what, the why, the how, the when, and the tools and resources it needs, fear goes down. Fear, okay, goes down, but you still have a little bit of anticipatory neurochemicals of fear, cortisol or adrenaline, epinephrine, to add to the dopamine, the serotonin, the oxytocin, especially when you're in a group like this, or you're in a group coaching program where everybody's sharing. And that cocktail of a little bit of excitement and fear with a whole bunch of the positive neurochemicals is what gives you the ability to break free and to take action where you normally would procrastinate and self-sabotage. I'm giving you the neuromechanics of what many of you have been doing for decades, unknowingly, repeatedly. So fear is not your enemy. Fear can be used as fuel for success. Fear is a signal that's no different than when your gas is low on, or your car is low on gas and a light pops up. It's a signal. If your tire is low on air, boom, signal pops up on your dash, and you love that. If an airplane is having an issue in the back of the plane, one of the wings, pilot gets a signal. You and I are on autopilot with our automatic subconscious guidance system. And for us to change, we have to override the automatic system. that has been reinforced for 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years for some of you. Many years ago, I want to share a story with you, true story. I actually made a video of this. My wife and I chartered a 47-foot catamaran, and we went on a beautiful romantic getaway to Bora Bora. All right. And one day, she and I were early morning, beautiful, calm, crystal clear waters. And we were going from this island that we were on with 9 spectacular huts called Vahini Island. I think it was 9 or 12 huts. Look up Vahini Island. So we stayed there for like 5 days. We had a boat take us there, and it was a little island that was like half a mile wide and like a mile long. And oh, great. So we went to Vahini Island, and I had a catamaran pick us up with a chef and a captain for the catamaran. And we started to go on the catamaran all around the Tahitian islands. Beautiful. One morning, I get up. Maria's at the front of the boat, and I bring her a coffee, and we're sitting over there. And we're on our way to Bora Bora that day. And she wanted a refill of coffee. And so, I went into the cabin where the kitchen was, and on the way to the kitchen, there's the captain's chair with the wheel, and I have this picture, and the captain wasn't there. I'm like, where the hell is the captain? And I'm like, hey, I can't remember his name. I said, hey, where are you? And he was in the back doing some work underneath. And I go, hey, who's like driving the boat, steering the boat? And he says, well, the autopilot is on. I was like, duh, of course it is. You know what he does? And every pilot does, and every captain of a ship does. They're not steering the ship manually. They put the coordinates for where they want to go, and the autopilot steers the ship there. That's what an autopilot does. Do you know what's steering your life? Your autopilot, your subconscious. And unless we either manually override it or go back in and change some of the settings, we keep repeating the destination, the results, over and over and over again. I actually took a video that I have on my mobile phone to share that story. And yes, I did use it on social media a few years back. But if you want to understand why it's so hard to change, change doesn't happen because of this 5-day business breakthrough challenge. You get awareness and some knowledge, but the neural patterns are not reinforced to override the knowledge and patterns you already have and the expectation points. Are you aware, for example, that you have a financial set point? Let's say you've earned $50,000 or $500,000 a year. That's what you're accustomed to earning year after year after year. If you make less than what you're used to earning, you bust your ass off and you do everything to catch up, right? And if you make more, do you know what most people do? They take it easy and they lay back until they have that equilibrium. When I was building Remax of Indiana, I had 1,200 salespeople, and we were doing about $1.2 billion in sales a year. $1.2 billion, not bad after 5 years, right? But I knew we were stuck because our market research showed that we could be at 4 or 5 billion in sales. Now, just remember, houses are 50,000, 100,000, 500,000. So it sounds like a lot. We were selling about 25,000 homes a year in Indiana. But our agents that were making $50,000 to $100,000 kept making the same trophies every year, same award categories. Our agents that made 75 to 100 consistently over and over, year after year, 100,000, 200,000, 500,000, 1 million, the same people were achieving the same results, even though we would give them books and seminars and training on closing and listing and communication and everything they needed. And it dawned on me that they weren't stuck because they weren't learning. They were stuck because of their internal self-image and financial setting. And I'd remembered, oh my God, what I did back in my 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and now even 60s is I was rewiring my brain for the next levels of success that I want, the self-image, the beliefs, the expectations. We have a fat set point. You lose weight, 99% of people gain it back. Why? Not because they can't lose weight. Almost everybody goes on a diet. Any type of diet loses weight. They don't change the self-image and the behaviors long term and the reason why they are releasing weight. They do it for a reason, not a season, but not a lifetime. And changing something for a reason or a season is a short-term solution. All of you could say, I'm motivated now. And I'm going to make some calls today. I'm going to do some social media today. You're not going to continue. Week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, week 6, week 7, week 10. Do you know why? Because it takes at least 66 days to 365 days to change the darn pattern, the wiring in the brain at the subconscious level. And you're using conscious effort versus subconscious, which is effort less versus effort more. So you want to lose weight and keep it off, make a commitment to 100 days and make it a lifestyle change, not a diet to lose 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds. The number one reason, research as of last year, number one reason people fail to keep off the weight is because they're focusing on losing the weight, not on what they're going to do after they lose the weight to keep it off. Number one reason. We know the exercise. We know the food. We know the sleep. We know the hormones. We know all of the science of weight release, which is not even what you should be focusing on. You should be focusing on fat loss and keeping it off, not weight loss, that you hit the weight and then everything goes back to normal. It's not about the weight. It's not about the money. It's about creating the identity to match the vision and goals that you have. And if you think you're going to make the changes and do it in a weekend or 5 days, you're getting a great start here. But the key is to continue for 100 days, 180 days, 200 days, 300 days. Can you get some immediate results with the tactics I teach you? Of course. But you have to keep the momentum going. Does this make sense? Does this make sense? Why do I offer our coaching programs? Because that is what it takes to really to get the infrastructure in place and to take action, to tweak and adjust. We all have an error detection mechanism already, to tweak and adjust until it becomes us. We and the vision and the goals and the skills and what is needed becomes ubiquitous. It becomes one. Like I cannot not do what I do. All right. So I can't, people come up to me and say, hey, you want to make $1 million? No. Why would I sell for $1 million? Like, why? Do you want to help 10,000 people? No, well, yeah, I'm like this month. Like, why only 10,000 when I could be focusing on 1 million or 2 million or 5 million or 10 million? Like, why? Why that? Right? So when your goal, and again, you can fill in your number here, doesn't match up with what you currently believe you are worth. Thanks, Linda. Right? Then you revert back to all of your old conditioning because your software, your conditioning, your settings, are going to get in the way. If you need to hire people to help you, but you're thinking you can't afford it, you've got a mindset issue. You can't afford not to have people do your $7 an hour work so that you could do your $50, $100 an hour work. You can't afford not to at the right time, right? When you say, I need to implement what John is teaching me, but some of you are saying I'm overwhelmed, I overanalyze stuff. You're using self-talk and a story to hold you back. I need to implement these learnings. I don't have the time. Are you kidding me? You're wasting so much time right now. You don't even know how much time you're wasting on your TV shows and Netflix and social media and low income and low impact producing activities because you're so into the habit of what you do. Your productive level is probably at a 2 and it could be at an 8, 9, or 10, but you don't know how to break free on your own yet. Is this resonating with any of you? I'm just giving you, I've done this with 25,000 business owners and over 100,000 people in my Winning Game of Money coaching program in the last 10 years. This is the real stuff. This is the truth. Like it, don't like it. You need to create a plan. You need to hire a team. You don't know how. Well, that's a skills issue. In the absence of knowing how, you're going to have doubt, fear, worry, and uncertainty. A brain that has doubt, fear, worried, and uncertainty is a brain in fear. A brain in fear is in a fight, flight, or freeze modality. That's just a natural automatic reaction. We have to learn how to respond. I need to create a plan, right? I don't know how. It takes too long. Well, God, are you kidding me? I'm showing you how to use ChatGPT to create a plan today. Today. If we invested the next 30 days just building your infrastructure, almost every one of you could reach your financial goals and other goals this year. We still have time. But you know what? We're almost at the end of the first quarter. We're almost at the end of the first quarter. Right? So time, okay, is running out. If you think about all the holidays, all the weekends, which many of us work. So here's what it's going to boil down to. There's only 4 things that are going to get in your way. Only 4. Number 1 is you have a vision and goals, but your self-image, self-esteem, and self-worth is not aligned with it. You don't feel worthy or see yourself achieving that goal. You'd like to, you'd hope to. It's nice. But your self-image, there's a mismatch. Number 2, you have beliefs that are limiting you. You have a story. I can't because, I won't because, you have a story. And your story and your limiting beliefs are the lens by which you see yourself and the world. We have to change number 1 and change number 2. Number 3, you have too many emotions, the energy in motion around doubt, fear, uncertainty, because you lack number 4, lack of knowledge and skills and process. Tell me which 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 you feel resonates with you. Tell me which 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 resonates with you. All 4? Okay. Now, let me ask you all a question. Were you born with any knowledge or skills? No. Were you born with any fears whatsoever? Any doubts? Any feelings of uncertainty? No. Were you born with any limiting beliefs? Were you born with a story? Character traits? Yes. Genetic predispositions? Yes. Were you born with a self-image, self-worth, or identity? So the answer is no, 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 and no. Do you know what all of these are in the brain? And I want you to remember, right? I want you to remember some of the neuromechanics we've been talking about. We have a brain. We have different networks and different components of the brain, whether it's the brain stem, the limbic system, the prefrontal cortex, the occipital lobe, the parietal lobes. We have all these little lobes. We have a brain that's made up of 100 billion brain cells, right? Those brain cells fire, right? The electrical activity when you see, hear, smell, taste, touch, observe, experience, brain cells are firing. And the brain cells that fire together do what, everybody? Hebb's law or Hebb's rule, brain cells that fire together, wire together, right? A belief is the brain cells that fire together and wire together to formulate a belief or a self-image or self-worth or self-esteem when you learn how to eat as a child, as a toddler, okay? And you don't know how to use a knife, okay, or a fork. Doesn't mommy or daddy or caregiver cut everything up for you and then feed you? And then they show you how to cut and how to hold the spoon or how to hold the fork. Aren't the neurons firing and then wiring together? And then have you ever met a baby that can cut her food and eat it after she's been shown how to do it one time? Never. Now, are there proteges? Yeah, of course. But the process of firing and wiring can be deliberate. But what happens is by the time we're 12 years old, something called the neuroplasticity switch that is on when we're born, that's learning and absorbing everything and giving things meaning and creating our beliefs and identity and our self-confidence and our self-worth and our trust, successes and issues, our knowledge and skills, or what we should be afraid of or what we should be happy about, and the meanings. That we are passed most of those things down to our parents, teachers, environment, television, books, comic books, stories we read, siblings, etc. And that switch goes to mostly off and we go into a reinforcement pattern. So you have the imprinting years, modeling years, experiential years, and then the reinforcement years and decades. And 20 years ago, we discovered that we're not hardwired, we're soft-wired. But the soft wiring is controlled by the subconscious mind in a place called the cerebellum, whereas what you're doing now over the last 5 days is you're gathering information at the hippocampus level, a short-term memory part of your brain. 90% of what I will talk about, you will forget within 2 weeks. For some of you, you've heard this before. And it went into your drawer as like, you're aware. I'm aware of this. I know that, John. I know that. I know the answer to that, John. But you're out of practice of implementing what you know, or you're learning new stuff. So what happens is when we reinforce patterns, the patterns then reinforce us. And since we're dealing with the brain, and what happens is when you have doubts, fears, worries, anxiety, self-image disconnect, the belief disconnect, the Einstein part of the brain that you need in order to break free shuts down. Blood flows to Frankie, right prefrontal cortex, and your inner Frankenstein moves you away from real or imagined danger, pain, or discomfort, keeps you in your comfort zone because it's constantly going, but what if I don't follow through? What if I can't do this? What if I fail? What if I'm embarrassed, ashamed, ridiculed, judged? What if I lose time? What if I lose money? And then you would come up with your stories of I'm moving, I'm this, I'm too old, I'm too that, I'm not enough of this, it's not the right time. And we validate the stories and the reasons that sound rational to keep us in our comfort zone. And here's the truth. Most of it's bullshit. Most of it is bullshit. And I'll prove this to you. I want you to imagine, all right? I want you to imagine this scenario. Imagine that today sometime or tomorrow morning, you're supposed to fly somewhere. Really important conference. And you wake up with your jaw is swollen. And it's like a big, huge bump in your jaw, and your tooth is just throbbing. And you can hardly stand up. You can hardly breathe. You're in so much pain. How many of you are going to change your flight to go see the dentist as quickly as you can because the pain is unbearable? How many of you will change your flight? Like, I'll go tomorrow, but I have to get rid of this. Have any of you ever had a toothache where the nerve is like pounding? You've had some kind of if you broke your hand, would you still go to the conference? If you had a toothache that was huge, would you still go to the conference? The answer is no. You would go to the higher order of pain release. And you know what? Some of you are still not in enough pain yet. And so your stories and reasons and excuses to sell yourself short is holding you hostage. And until you recognize that, you will be a hostage of your subconscious conditioning, and you will come up with stories and reasons and excuses that to you make sense, but you are lying to yourself to keep you safe and in your comfort zone because you don't trust yourself. You don't feel you're worthy of it. You may have beliefs that are limiting you. You have stories that hold you hostage. I am just telling you what I have discovered from a science perspective, but in also coaching over 100,000 students, all right, in our coaching programs. I've seen it over and over and over again. And when Frankie is activated, it leads to you having more stress that you want to release. It leads to self-doubt, fear, worry, lack of control. You hyper-focus on what if it doesn't work for me? What if I waste time, energy, money? I don't have the time. I hesitate. You're uncertain. You don't invest in the solution, and you play this wait and see game. And here's my question for you. How many more months or years are you going to play this wait and see game? Life's ticking. Ticking, ticking, ticking. And before you know it, time's up. Time is up. Bill, 100% of the students who are committed can overcome this. That's the biggest problem. It's all in your control. And when this part of your brain runs your life, you tend to and will consistently stay in your comfort zone, and you will be known as a settler. I settle. Even though you have a vision, goals, and dreams. Yes, Gary. Yes, Jenna. Right? You have to reset the autopilot, not turn it off. And yes, Lisa, it's the hard truth. You're going to settle for what you have. You're going to use time and money as your excuse. You're going to procrastinate. Procrastination only has 3 causes to it. 1, it's an arousal mechanism for some people, like students who do their best work in the last minute to get a paper in or a project in. Some of you are smiling because you know that's you. Number 2, you have limiting beliefs. And number 3, fear. Those are the only 3 reasons people procrastinate. Fear of being embarrassed, ashamed, ridiculed, judged, etc. And self-sabotage is its near cousin. We self-sabotage to maintain our identity. We self-sabotage to remain safe in our comfort zone because that's the devil we know versus the devil we don't know, that we may fail and deteriorate our self-image even more. Right? Does that make sense, everybody? And this is what causes you to do trivial things versus productive things. And you waste 2, 3, 4, 5 hours a day on these trivial many, all right, versus the critical few. And let me just show you this. Look at the right part of this. Okay, if you're listening to me, I want to have this come in pieces, please. How do I know you so well, Cheryl? Because I've seen the game in myself and in other people. How many of you agree that your business results and your behaviors are effects? Your positive behaviors or negative behaviors are effects. Now, 95%, 98% of all of your habits, okay, run your behaviors, what you take action on and what you don't. But wouldn't you agree that what causes your habits, that causes your behavior, is your self-image, your fears, your knowledge, your skills, your limiting beliefs? You want to change your business results? You want to change your business results? You better change the subconscious conditioning while you learn what to do over a period of time to rewire the cerebellum part of the brain, not the hippocampus part of the brain. When you are watching me, when you are learning right now, all right, we're activating the amygdala, the emotional control center of your brain, right? How you're feeling about this. The hippocampus is gathering new information for short-term memory. It's reinforcing a feeling of, I can do this. No, I can't. This scares me. No, it doesn't. This makes sense. This doesn't make sense. But it's only through spaced repetition over time that your brain will let go of the old conditioning, whether it's your mindset, your fears, your beliefs, and your knowledge and skills, and replace or add to your cerebellum, the seat of consciousness and behavior and habits, so that you change the identity for good. You change the beliefs, you manage the fears because it's a skill you learn. And as you upgrade the knowledge and skills using AI, which is what I recommend to do it faster, easier, better, cheaper, then you start to shift your entire identity to match the destiny, vision, goals you have. Does this make sense? Does this make sense? Listen, I'm going to tell you this. Anything less than this, you're being delusional with yourself. That's just the truth. Sorry if you don't want to hear that, but anything less than this, you're just being delusional with yourself, and you are going to keep hoping and praying that things change. You have to deliberately and consciously grab the proverbial bull by the horns and get into a system, a program, mine or somebody else's, okay, that knows how to work on the inner game while you work on the outer game over a period of time, 6 months to 12 months, okay, and you can write your own ticket. If you do for 6 months to 12 months what most people will not, you'll be able to live the lifestyle most people will never do it. And that's why so many people never reach their potential. Not because they can't. They don't commit to themselves to going through the process to do it smarter, faster, better, easier. Awesome, Jenna. Congratulations. So here's my question for you. What's holding you back right now? And don't just say me. I know it's you. I know it's not me. I know it's you. But which part is holding you back right now? Is your self-talk holding you back? Which part of your subconscious, Morton? Your self-image, your beliefs, your lack of knowledge and skills, your lack of commitment, your lack of decision-making? See, here's what many of you don't realize. You're making decisions even when you don't make decisions, right? So Zainab, fear of what emotional risk? What emotional risk? Fear of failing? Your husband is holding you back? Baloney. Now you're deflecting. It's him. It's her. Frank, what do you mean your bad habits? Your bad habits. Which bad habits? Start using my limiting beliefs, my bad habits, my bad attitude, my fear, it's yours. You own it. You own your brain. You just don't know how to use it as well as you can. Many of you know the story I'm about to share. This guy right over here helped me change my life. Helped me change my life. I was 19. My brother and sister were concerned for my well-being. His name is Alan Brown. And why were they concerned for my well-being? Well, between the age of 12 and 19, I was drinking too much, doing drugs, selling drugs, doing breaking and entries into businesses and people's homes, lying, stealing, cheating, getting in trouble with the law and school. And I decided because I wasn't doing well in school, I was going to leave high school after grade 11, and I was going to go out there and work. And I was told that if I didn't do well in college, or if I didn't go to college, I wouldn't amount to much. And truth be told, when I was 5.5 and we moved from Israel to Montreal, I went to a class of 50 people. I didn't speak the English language. And so I felt 2 years behind because there was a lot of immigrants in the class, about 50 to 60 in every class. And the teacher didn't have time to teach me English. So they gave us a book, said, go home and learn English. But the kids already knew how to speak. And I didn't even understand what they were saying. So I just, started looking at the walls and poking the kids to the left of me and right of me and fell behind. By the time I was in grade 5, I was in the principal's office more than I was in the classroom, and just fell behind. School wasn't for me. Didn't like anything other than gym class. And the only other thing that I liked was when I got into high school was biology. I did well in biology. I just loved how biology worked, and I liked chemistry, putting things together and understanding chemical reactions. But by 19, I was either going to go to jail or the morgue because of the people that I was hanging around with. And I didn't think I was smart enough. I didn't think I was going to succeed. I was voted most likely to fail by people in my high school. And even though I played basketball well, I was considered to be a dumb jock. So I had this identity. I'm good in athletics, but I'm dumb in school, dumb in learning. And I thought I was learning disabled. And the teachers wanted my parents to put me on Ritalin because I was hyperactive. Truth is, I wasn't hyperactive. I was bored out of my mind. So I was doing everything other than what I should be doing because I didn't understand it. Part one of the story. Part two. My brother was teaching tennis to this guy in the picture I just showed you. And he was a real estate developer. He had 7 or so real estate offices with like 700 real estate agents in different parts of the city in Toronto. And my brother arranged for me to meet him for lunch. And I took the train to meet my brother. He picked me up at the train station. We met this guy for lunch. And many of you know the story. At lunch, Mr. Allen Brown asked me, what do you want to achieve in your life? And this was in April 1980. All right, long time ago. Literally, think about it. 45 years ago, April 1980. And I said to him, well, I want to move out of my parents' house. I want to make more than $1.65 an hour, which is what I was earning working in the shipping department of Phillips Electronics, the big conglomerate Phillips. I was, packing boxes, unpacking boxes, packing boxes, unpacking boxes, and taking the subway and bus every day to and from work. And he said, well, that's great. That makes sense. You want to move out of your parents' house, you want to buy a car, and you want a better job. I get that. I said, what are some of your bigger goals? And I said, I don't have any. And he gave me this document. And he asked me very similar question to what I asked you on day one. What's your vision? What is your goals? Why do you want to achieve it? And so that day I wrote out by telling him the answers to some questions. Where do I want to live? What kind of house do I want? Where do I want to travel? What kind of travel? Who do I want to help? How much money do I want to make? How much net worth did I want to have? And I wrote down this stuff that was just a bunch of bullshit. $3 million net worth, retired age 45, 4-bedroom house, travel around the world, first class, Italian clothes. I want a Mercedes Benz. I want to retire my parents, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's what I wrote down on this piece of paper. And he looked at it and said, these are great. This would be an extraordinary life, wouldn't it? I said, yeah, it would be. And he said, I'm going to ask you one question. And the answer to this question is going to determine whether you achieve every one of these things. And at 19, I thought to myself, yeah, right, bullshit. All of these things, become a millionaire, Mercedes, house, travel, retire my parents. Nobody in my family, had that or did that. And he says, are you interested in achieving all of these things, or are you committed to achieving them? And I asked him, what's the difference? And I'm going to ask all of you, what is the difference when somebody's interested in achieving something versus when somebody is committed to achieving it no matter what? What is the difference? What is somebody willing to do when they're committed? Ethically and professionally. Let me know in the chat. Let me know, interested. So when they're committed, they take necessary action. They look into success. What do you mean, Bill? Success. All what? Do whatever it takes. But what if they don't believe they can do it? What if they don't have the time? What if they don't have the money? What if they don't know how? You're either in or you're not. Have you ever given 100% commitment to anything? What happened when you were? What happened when you were committed? When you had setbacks, what happened if you were committed? When you failed initially, what did you do when you committed? When you didn't have the resources, what did you do when you were committed? See, people who are committed find a way. People who are interested find an excuse. People who are committed find resources in the absence of resources. They become resourceful, right? People who are committed show up and step up. What do people do when they're committed, when they have fear? Do they feel the fear and do it anyway? When people don't know how to, what do they do when they're committed? Do they find out how to? Do they ask for help? Do they put themselves in the environment? They overcome the fear. They find the resources. They commit and follow through to completion no matter what. And so I'm going to ask you a question, right? And the question is around, with AI at your doorstep to show you all of the how, don't you believe that when you are committed, right? Don't you believe that when you consider how quickly you can succeed with the right systems and processes, you can do it faster, easier, better, and cheaper than staying stuck? Right? And you want to give yourself the best chance for success. And when you say yes to yourself, I'm committed, and you start to match your identity. Alan Brown, said to me that question. I said, I'm committed. He said, then I will coach you. In the first 6 months, I made $31,000. From $1.65 an hour, I made $31,000 by following what he taught me. I had no idea how to sell, how to market, how to be a real estate agent. I got my license in 5 weeks. Even though I hated school, I passed. I moved in with my brother. Yes, lived on his sofa for a while. All right. And I upgraded my identity. I upgraded my beliefs. I upgraded my knowledge and skills by working an hour a day, okay? An hour a day based on what my first coach told me to do every single day, to retrain my brain, to refire, to rewire my brain initially with what he taught me. I then, by the way, taught it to my real estate agent when we were stuck at $1.2 billion. And you know what happened to them? Average income went from, I think it was 28,000 or 38,000 average income to $128,000 income. In 3 years, we went from 1.2 billion to $4.5 billion when we upgraded their self-image, their self-worth, taught them self-talk, emotional regulation, and focusing on a plan to achieve the goals. Working with them for 6 months, we increased our revenue by $100 million in sales in 6 months over the same year before, just with those 75 agents that came in to a coaching program that cost $3,500 literally in 1992. 23 years ago or 33 years ago, right? And so when you're committed, you do what it takes. And when you're committed, you upgrade your knowledge and your awareness and your skill level to match the income and lifestyle and vision and goal level that you want. Now, many of you are saying you're committed, but you're not yet, right? You're not yet. You're saying you're committed because it sounds good. Commitment means you back up your behaviors with what you say. Because when you don't, you lose self-confidence, self-trust, and you deteriorate your self-image and self-worth and self-esteem because you stop trusting you. And then your words mean nothing. And there's a little quote that says, of what use to make heroic vows of amendment when the same old lawbreaker is going to keep them? So you become good at saying something, but not doing and following through and being in congruence, in concert with integrity. I'm committed, but I don't have time. I'm committed, but this is happening. I'm committed, but he. I'm committed, but she. I'm committed, but I don't have. I'm committed, but it's not the right time. Bullshit. When you're committed, you're committed. And then you reinforce your patterns. And so when you think about commitment and you see yourself following through for a month, for 2 months, for 3 months, and continuing the pattern, and you reinforce the beliefs and the habits, and you upgrade the skills at the same time, when you're committed, you overcome fear. You overcome past limiting beliefs or current ones. You overcome current self-image because you cannot operate with your current self-image. You have to go to a higher cortical functioning to understand that you are not your self-image. You're this spiritual entity that has been programmed, the brain that's been programmed like software on your computer. And you have to interrupt those patterns in a safe, smart way over time, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, in order to replace the old, maybe weaker patterns with new, empowering patterns. I don't care if you're 20 and you're creating them, or 75, 80 and you're recreating them. Okay? But what happens is when you match, okay? We mute whoever got their microphone. Can you all hear me still? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Thank you. So here is the reality of where you're at. Here's the reality. No bullshit. No fluff. Here's what's going to happen with AI at your doorstep right now. Your potential future is this. You operate in this new world of change, a rapid, massive change, with self-doubt, fear, anxiety, uncertainty, worry that may lead to panic for some of you, and things have a possibility of getting much worse. Would you agree this is a possibility, everyone? Just a possibility. I'm not saying probability, right? For some of you, you'll be just working hard. And 6 months from now, 18 months from now, you'll do your very best to survive. And some of you will do that. That's a possibility also. Would you agree that that's a possibility? Right? It's a possibility. For some of you, there's a path to a different future, an improved future, more income, more peace of mind, less stress, more customers, more impact, more influence, more personal power, more of the good life that you have. And it's going to take a shift in your focus. Would you agree with that? It's going to take a shift in your focus, because right now I know what you're focusing on. It's going to take some planning to get there. Agree? Yes or no? It's going to take you taking a different type of action than you've taken up until now, because what got you here will not get you there. It's going to take you being motivated, which means we're going to have to keep you motivated to take these actions and to change more than you are motivated to remain the same. Agree or disagree? And that leads to you being able to thrive, right? That leads you being able to thrive and making your future for yourself, your family, your life, way better in 6 months. And can you imagine a better 6 months from now? Can you imagine a better 6 months from now? Can you see yourself in the right environment with a more empowered mindset? Can you feel, okay, being motivated to take action? Can you see and feel yourself, right, letting go of what's holding you back right now and becoming the version that you know is within you, right? Can you see that? Because when you can see it and feel it and then follow through with the right actions and you handle it now, you have the greatest chance for things to be way better. But when you stall, when you give yourself the stories, reasons, and excuses why you can't, you're deliberately or not deliberately choosing for survival or things getting much worse. And I can tell you, there has never, ever been, not the agricultural revolution, not the industrial revolution. I know some of you were part of that, not the computer internet revolution, even compares to the change that we're experiencing right now. And if you don't adapt now, and you don't get yourself, change ready now and do the right things, then that's a risk for you. I'm not prepared to take that risk, right? Not for me. I've been training on AI for 2.5 years, teaching it to our students for 2.5 years, and I know where it's going. I've been going to the AI international conferences in San Francisco with all the leading investment companies in the world, researchers in the world, major companies in the world to see what infrastructure they are building, what tools they are building. And it'll blow your mind when you see what happens over the next 1, 3, 5 years. It's like you won't even recognize, society in that way. And you have a chance to be on the cutting edge of that safely and securely. And here's my question for you. What's possible for you by following our training? We have the best mindset training in the world to recalibrate your subconscious mind with our training. We have some of the best training on AI, on how to build your business, build your sales process, your marketing process, everything that you need. And if you don't have one, then we have one, right? I want to show you something, if I can. Let me just stop sharing, and I'm going to share with you another video, and then let me share my sound and this. As I mentioned to you, I've worked with people in every type of industry: coaches, consultants, doctors, lawyers, surgeons, welders, dentists, home. It doesn't make a difference. All right, but take a look at this, and then I'm gonna explain to you a couple things that I know you'll want to know about the program. Then we'll do our Q&A session.
Eagles can live up to 70 years because they are mentally strong. After 40 years, every eagle has to make a difficult decision. Its claws are no longer sharp enough to hunt. Its beak becomes bent and blunt, and its feathers become thick. The eagle has two options. Either it dies, or it goes through a painful change. This painful change is that the eagle must go to the mountain and crush its beak on a rock until it falls out. When the old beak falls out, a new beak grows in. With the new beak, the eagle rips out its claws, and new ones grow in. Then the eagle plucks out its feathers, and new ones grow in. This painful journey lasts 150 days. But after doing this, the eagle gets a new life. Sometimes we need to get rid of our old self in order for a new and better version to emerge.
John, I muted you.
I just did a quick bio break while you were watching that. A new, improved version to emerge, right? You either are going to stay in your current comfort zone, or you're going to break free and emerge into the better version of yourself. And here is the ultimate question. I've asked this of over 1 million students, 1 million, in one capacity or another. So based on what the answers you all gave, and here's what I prefer, if I may just be blunt. Be honest with yourself. There's no shame in saying, I'm just interested and I'm going to treat my business like a hobby. There's no shame in that. And then you're giving yourself some peace of mind, right? So which are you as it relates to the vision and goals you set, okay, last week? You took the time to create a vision. You took the time to set some goals. You felt good around it, but which are you? Like, I'm okay. Just say, John, I guess I'm just interested right now. Perfect. Then this will be a great training today, and it'll be a great training on Thursday. And then, you'll go about your way. We'll see one of my, other events. But if you're committed, are you prepared to follow through to completion one way or the other? To completion. Some of you are wrestling with that thought, right? Because you're going, am I just really interested? And it's okay to be interested in something. When I set my goals every year, I ask myself a question. I write down what I say I want to achieve, and then I go to myself, John, are you committed to making this happen? Are you committed to making this happen? Because if you're not, just don't do it. Life is busy. So how many of you are committed? And it's okay to say, I'm not. Just say, I am not. And give yourself some peace of mind saying, I'm not. There's no shame, by the way, in saying, I'm not committed. It gives you a release, or it just gives you a release, right? Commitment and following through will set you free. But saying you're committed and don't follow through, you ruin your self image and self trust. Because you say one thing, but then you do another over and over and over again. That's what deteriorates self image. Do you know what builds self confidence? Saying to yourself, I'm going to stop this or start this, and you follow through no matter how hard it is. Not doing that deteriorates self image and self worth. Can I also ask, for those of you that are not committed, can you just say, I am not? And again, I'm okay with that. I want you, okay, to be truthful with you. Alice, I don't know what you mean by I need to clean up papers. You haven't decided? Wonderful, Jeff. Deb, good. I appreciate that honesty. I haven't decided if I'm interested or committed. Great. Yeah, awesome. All right. For those of you that are committed, I want to show you a couple different things around our coaching program that I think will help you. All right. Make a wise decision. And congratulations to those of you that enrolled yesterday and got started. I know that awesome, Guy. Way to go. I appreciate that, Guy. You're not ready yet. Maybe next time when we offer the program again, then you might be ready. And that's perfect. That is so relieving to see somebody just being truthful with themselves. Way to go. So why did I create this program? A, because I want to use my life's experiences in a way to help other people, achieve their life's goals and dreams. I've had phenomenal mentors. I actually have on my wall mentors: Alan, Greg, Rocky, Sylvia, Vern, Arthur, Leo, Tommy Hopkins, Bob Proctor, who I became partners with, Frank and Walter. I learned with Jack Canfield, Napoleon Hill, Tom Hill, Dennis Waitley. Let me see who else is up there. Those are all people that I learned and paid, them to be in their programs or hired them and work with them. I wanted to take everything I've learned around the mindset. I built Remax of Indiana to 85 offices, 1,200 salespeople, $4.5 billion a year, built it over 10 years, had somebody else run it for 10 years, sold it just before Remax went public, built bamboo.com, raised $28 million. I've learned about startups. I've learned about every aspect of the game. No, Norman Vincent Peale was before my time, Bill. I've learned about, startups. I'm an investor in 93 companies right now, all tech companies. So I've seen raising money. I've seen small, big, successful ones, failures. I've had enough failures, to know, where the landmines are. But why is this particular coaching different? Well, there has never been a time where there's these tools that we can use to help us get the work done. So if you need articles for social media or posts for social media or videos for social media, or to do analysis or to create graphs or brochures or manuals or coaching programs, do you know how much it cost in the past to have an article written and how much time it took? Or a brochure or magazine or website? How many of you would agree in many cases it would take weeks and thousands or tens of thousands of dollars? Would you agree with that? Yes, Nancy? Yeah, I mean, weeks and thousands or tens of thousands of dollars. But AI, there's so many different tools that we can use to have them work together to help us do the work faster, easier, better, without having to hire people for 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 or 30 or $50,000. So imagine that we can help you upgrade your AI skills for the next 6 months. Bye, Susie. Right? Imagine we can help you upgrade your skills so you know what tools to use, how to use them. You practice them with us. We give you the playbooks and we give you the training that many people are charging $6,000, $8,000, $12,000 for a 3-month training just on AI. What if I could save you $50,000 or $100,000 in the next 6 to 12 months? Isn't that worth it alone to learn the tool so you'd have to waste 20, 50, 100 hours? I have spent, let me see, 1,000 hours in 2.5 years or more. And Carolyn has spent probably 500 hours or 1,000 hours. What if we can help you and show you, not just tell you what to do, showed you how to create all of your marketing materials? Have any of you ever hired marketing help to create your marketing stuff, create your copy, create brochures? Have any of you ever helped? Guy, how much does it cost to hire somebody to do it for you? Thousands, tens of thousands, 5,000, 3,000, 8,000. We can show you how to create all of your marketing materials using AI, saving you tens of thousands of dollars, right? A few $100s for maybe one piece, right? But if you need 10 of them or 20 of them or 50 of them, I was spending $500 to have a writer help me with writing my articles, giving me the shell so I could tweak it. $500 each article. I can have an article done in 15 minutes now, right? So create your marketing materials. What about gaining thousands of followers or tens of thousands of followers and getting their emails and learning the process for that? If every email is potentially worth $500 to you, if you can get 10,000 followers, isn't that a potential 50 grand? Right? Isn't that potential 50 grand in income? How much is it costing you not to have consistent leads or sales? Right? One of your biggest problems for many of you is you don't have enough leads. Not enough leads means not enough sales. Not enough sales means you can't hire more people, grow your business, and live the lifestyle of your dreams. Right? So imagine in the next 3 to 6 months having this problem solved even sooner if you want to get a head start. Solve it in the next 30 days. Put a little bit of extra effort into the training we already have, right? And see how your business can thrive and what that does for your personal life and those that you love. When you put in just a lead generation system and a proper sales process. And then how will it make you feel being on the cutting edge of what's happening, on the cutting edge of change as you're changing with it? Because you're learning with me, with Carolyn, and you're learning, with some of our, AI experts, whether it's prompting, all the new tools that we teach, creating a clone of yourself using generative AI, automating AI, using some of the more advanced tools with AI. We have a faculty that teaches. So you don't have to spend, 50 hours a month like I do. We just bring you what works for a small business owner. Video tools, we know what they are. Writing tools, we know what they are. Brochure tools, we know what they are. Analysis tools, we know what they are. And we're on that cutting edge already. And when you sign up, for example, imagine if we could show you a training right now, like today, that we've already done in the last several months for our members on how to build your whole team for $20 a month. Your AI team, researcher, writer, everything for $20 a month. If how many of you would spend 20,000 or $20 a month to save 5,000 a month in 2 or 3 employees, part-time or full-time, right? We already have that training in the library. How many of you have seen some of the AI clone, the avatars, right? I'll show you some on Thursday. Explode your business sales, strategies and tactics to supercharge your business. What if we can show you in one training, one 90-minute session, how to create all of your content 100 days at a time in like one day? Invest one day following our process. You'll have all of your social media content for 100 days. Would you do it? How much time and money would that save you? Well, we have that training already inside the library. What about creating epic AI videos around your specific niche? Way to go, Nancy. Your specific niche, your specific avatars, their pains, their fears, their frustration, their irritation, their wants, their needs. What if we showed you in 5 minutes how to see what the top performing videos are on YouTube and on Google, and then how to create what people are searching for so you don't waste time figuring out what should I create. We showed you how to do it and then showed you the AI tools to do it for you. You want to gain 100,000 followers? Yes, Aisha, it is. That's our on-demand training. Scaling your content with another tool. Advanced prompt engineering. How to create 10 pieces of content in 1 hour. Aren't many of these things what you actually need to build leads and sales and a following? How much is it costing you not to have this done right now? It's your gap. It is your gap, right? So this will help you solve the problems that you have right now. And your cost of inaction, not taking action, is stagnation. And it's reinforcing your patterns. If you're okay earning what you're earning, if you're okay with the impact and influence that you're having, great. Then you're not committed. You're committed to more of the same. Right? But if you want growth and you want to put into place what I showed you today on your sales process, we can help you do it faster, easier, better. We can take what would normally take 6 months to do and help you do it in a fraction of the time. So that's just the AI on demand training that we already have. All right. But then getting better at neuromarketing and neuroselling, are live on demand training, live and on demand training. How many of you need to get better on camera? We have a training for you on getting better on camera if you want to be on camera. If you don't, we'll show you how to create avatars. Right? Alice, yes, you can. Right? So these are skills that you're going to need to learn. You don't need all of them, but you need to put your end-to-end process in place. Why try to figure it out when we have the blueprint for you to just put it into place? It's going to cost you 10 times more to figure it out on your own or to not do it. So we have our neuromarketing, neuroselling live and on-demand training all the time. We have world-renowned experts for AI automation, AI lead generation, AI viral content creation, media buying excellence. If you're going to be doing ads, you better learn what we teach you. Many years, I spend $5 million on ads. Do you think we might learn something from our ad spending and millions of dollars that collectively our students are spending to get 2 times, 3 times, 10 times return on their money doing ads right? If you're going to do ads right, social media marketing, we always have the latest, the greatest, the more advanced. We just did a training on LinkedIn that blew people's minds because they were doing it all wrong. We had an expert LinkedIn marketer on there. right? Hiring, managing, scaling, neuro selling mastery, be an influencer and expert of choice for people, plus so much more. So not only do we have a library for you for stuff that you need, and we can point you to where it's at, we have experts every week that you can sign up for what you need. We record, put it to your library or to your portal. Anything you may have missed, you can watch it later. You can look at the transcription. You can look at the summaries, and you can, become better at your business growth. And if you want a predictive business growth model to make your 50, 100,000, 250, 500,000, that'll give you more impact in the world, in your life, more money in your pocket, and more freedom to do what you want to do. Build the machine that will work for you. Many of you have a business, but you're working for it. It's not working for you. And in order to do that, let's help you build your foundation around yourself and what you do. Let's help you implement the right lead generation, lead conversion, and lead nurturing processes. We'll show you, we'll give them to you. You'll create them for yourself. You can share it with us. We can critique them on our calls. And then once you build your infrastructure, then we want to help you optimize it by understanding the numbers, right? By understanding how to maximize your profits, and by understanding, how to accelerate and scale if you want to. Can I just ask you for a comment? Do you agree that if you are committed to your business growth, this is a logical way of looking at it? And of course, there's pieces within this, but you cannot implement the wrong things. I mean, you can, but this is a methodical way of doing this. And then I've already shared with you, the reason, and part of our session today was the 9-level brain training program. It's the subconscious you have to rewire. The self-image is a subconscious pattern. Your beliefs are implicit beliefs that drive your behavior, not explicit. There's two different types of beliefs. Explicit is, of course I can do it. Implicit is like, yeah, but you're not smart enough to do it. You're not good enough. You're not worthy to do it. So these specific inner sizes use a variety of mindfulness training, awareness training, visualization, affirmations, binaural beats, technology to activate different brain waves, alpha and theta specifically versus beta and gamma. What? Why alpha and theta? Because those are the frequencies for refiring and rewiring and reinforcing a pattern. You hear what I just said? How many of you have ever driven a stick shift car? Let me give you an example. What happens in gear one? What happens in gear one? You can, put gear one, the car goes, right? The engine's working really hard to launch, right? What happens if you keep your foot on the gas and keep pushing the gas in gear one? You blow a gasket, right? You're supposed to take your foot off the gas, put on the clutch, go to gear two, right? And then doesn't the engine work slower in gear two, but the car picks up speed? And then what happens if you stay in gear two and you keep pushing on the gas? It's called stress. Boom, blow a gasket, because gear two is only supposed to do what you're supposed to do in gear two. So guess what you do? Hit the clutch, let go of the gas, put into gear three. Boom, you take that to where it's supposed to go, gear four and gear five. Are you aware you have beta, alpha, theta, delta, and gamma brainwave frequencies? All are different frequencies, different energy, different vibration. And it's in alpha and theta that you rewire your brain. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, okay. Well, too bad. Too bad. You need to be in those frequencies. These brain training audios are advanced brain training audios. They are the most sophisticated brain training audios in the world to help you develop the identity, beliefs, habits, and actions of a highly successful entrepreneur. These brain trainings are not in my $100 app. These trainings I would sell on their own for $1,000 when I release them. So there's 8 to 12 different evidence-based, scientifically proven methods to access the subconscious mind to fire and rewire the patterns there. You want me to show you how easy it is to access the subconscious mind? You ready? Hold your fingers out like this. Make a little thing with your fingers like this. Come on, follow me, everyone. You too, Jeff. I see you. Put over here on your chin. Great. Where's your chin, Jeff? Yeah, you put it on the cheek. I bypassed your thinking mind, just got you to behave. Patricia, you started off on the cheek, went to the chin, right? So smart, right? Listen, there are techniques to access the subconscious mind. And there's very, very specific tools that I used in this program to help you shatter all your limitations and remove your obstacles. So all of these, including all the training for sales and AI and marketing, is in there, which means there's no more complete course in the world and coaching program in the world that has on demand and live and holds you by the hand and answers your question and looks at your stuff and guides you when you're on our calls. And so you've already committed, many of you, to reaching your goals, and your achievement follows with a logical next step for you of say yes to yourself and growing your business and follow through to completion. And then I mentioned this yesterday. We have this in here today. The first 15 people that enrolled yesterday will receive the Hill method of selling. I'll extend it to anybody who enrolls today. All right. And this is a training. If you are selling one-on-one or one-to-many, it will help you, okay, make an extra $50,000 to $1 million over the next few years if you apply just this process for selling. And if anybody's in here that's part of our program, all right, that has already used it and or has watched it and followed the sequence, I can tell you people have made $50,000 in the first week of using this because it's a methodical way of neuro selling that activates every proper trigger in your prospect's brain. So I'll give it to everybody who signs up today versus just the 15. So here's what this looks like. 6 months of live weekly coaching with me and or the experts. Thank you, Kay. Thank you, Kay. So let me make sure you saw the last slide. Yeah, this is the 9-level brain training program. You already saw this, right? So I explained that one. You're going to get the Hill method of selling, which is a video training that I've done. All right. But here's the entire package for you. It's the live coaching, all the foundational videos that you need. You watch them, implement them. There's workbooks, manuals, examples, fill in the blank sheets. You're going to get your brain training, right, which you keep for life. You keep the Foundation of Relation Optimization program for life. You're going to get access to the training library that we have built over the last couple of years. And there's over 100 different video trainings for everything you can think of. You're going to get the fastest path to cash for those of you who want to make cash fast and help you break the cycle right now of not earning enough and helping you stop chasing results and achieving them deliberately. We're going to give you an email copywriting course with templates and email examples to use in your marketing. We're going to give you a course to do master classes like the pros so you can make hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. All right. You're going to get a training on Google and Facebook advertising in case you want to do Facebook advertising. You're going to get the Unleash the Power of AI live training with me and Carolyn and our experts. And then you're also going to get Sales Master training every month with me. So this is the most comprehensive program that there is that takes care of everything that you need. And you don't have to use all of it. Just remember, for many of you, you're going to be part of the program for 6 months. Some of you will just sign up for a whole year. And I mentioned to you that you have 2 different options to buy. You can invest $39.97, use your credit card, or use PayPal, and they'll finance you if you qualify. Or you can make 6 payments of $733. All right. You're getting a $40,000 coaching program. If you want to add an extra 6 months, which I know many of you did, you can just invest another $1,496 for $5,500 for the whole year. And as I mentioned yesterday and today, everything that you need to break free, all right, everything that you need to have at your disposal, what you need to do with the support that you need, all right, then is here for you right now. So there isn't anything that you need that we don't have for 99% of you. Can you all see that? We've thought of everything, and our members tell us what they need, and we bring them the trainings that they need. All right. All right. So we are starting, Alexandra, and I'll give you the dates in just a moment. There's a 100-day money-back guarantee for 30 days, unconditional. So kick the tires, get in the program, start training your brain, show up for our training, and you decide from the inside and the outside. And not only will I give you a 100% money-back guarantee, it won't even be 150% money-back guarantee. Sign up for 6 months or 12 months. And if you don't at least double how much you invested in the program within 12 months, I'll give you all your money back. Now, there is a caveat, and that is you have to show up and do the work. All right. Is that fair, by the way, everybody? Is that a fair condition? I'll guarantee your result, but you have to show up and do the work, right? If it's not fair, tell me no, Don, that's not fair. But if it is fair, say yes, it is fair. All right. So we call it, and some of you are not answering, which is okay. But basically, we call it a use it, then decide guarantee. All right. So there it is, your entire package. We are kicking this off. Way to say yes to yourself, Al. We're kicking this off on Monday, March 24th. All right. That's our opening kickoff call. And then I mentioned this to you. All right. Hold on one second. Hold on, everybody. I need to do something. Give me 1 second. I need to do something over here. There's a slide that I want to show you. All right, let me go back to this. So can you all see my 30-day use it, then decide guarantee? Give me either a thumbs up or a yes in the chat.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Great. So we have a 30-day use it, lose it. We're starting, okay, our training. But you remember yesterday I shared with you we're going to do something for this group we haven't done before, but we're going to help you and hold you by the hand, you know, in groups where week 1, we're going to lock in your 30-day goals and help you start to create your unstoppable mindset and answer your questions and help you create, okay, everything you need to lock in your 30 days goal and then make sure that you're held accountable in our community to achieving those goals. Week 2, we're going to help you create your strategies, your plan for executing of what you need to do every day, every week, every month, so you have no excuses. Week 3, you'll come back to us with what are the roadblocks or obstacles you have, either mentally, emotionally, or strategically in taking action. And then week 4, we'll start working on your 100-day plan so that you can achieve your goals for this year. There are people that will charge you $2,000, $3,000 just for this. All right. So we are doing this. All right. And we're going to make sure that you lock in this price, lock in this investment. Our goal and our plans are to raise the price later this year, just so you know. Many of our competitors are charging $7,000, $10,000, $15,000 for a program like this. And for everything that we have added, that is what we're looking to do as well. So lock in this price right now. And as I mentioned, the first training happens on Monday, March 24th. So next week, we're starting the training at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 o'clock New York, 4 o'clock London. And I want to answer some of the questions we always have. What if I don't have the time or money? Is that a real challenge for most people. For some people, it is. I get it. Some people have, full-time jobs. They want to start a side business and they can't do it. Some people just they're out of ability to borrow. They don't want to ask their friends, or they don't have the ability to borrow, and you're out of time or money. If this is a real excuse or reason, then this is not for you. But we've had plenty of people who find the time and the money, and over 30, 60, 90 days, they earn enough money to pay it back. All right. And they are able to pay for the program from the extra money they earn. Some people put on their credit cards. Some people borrow the money from the banks or small business loans. Some people borrow from friends or family. But I also want you to remember that if you don't have the money, you remember the image I showed you before of what's the cause of not having money? It's either your beliefs, your habits, your emotions, your lack of knowledge and skills, and your habits that are causing you to consistently not have money. And until you fix the cause, it'll never go away, I'm sorry to tell you. What if I've tried other programs and courses and never followed through? Well, that's a self-image issue and a fear issue and a limiting beliefs issue. Those are all the things we are going to help coordinate and fix and change. All right. So we can help you follow through, and that's why we have the community. All right. And we have, the training every week, and we have the Q&A sessions. So we can do this. Way to go, Ma'aiki. Usually 2 or 3 times a year. And Guy, by the next time, the price is probably going to be double, just so you know. Consider this. What's the difference between a cost and an investment? A cost is basically a sunk cost, but an investment you can use for the rest of your life. When you invest in something, you're looking for a return on investment, right? Return on investment. So you can look at this as an investment in your knowledge, skills, your mindset, and your systems to build a $50,000, $100,000, $250,000, $500,000, $1 million business. And once you know how to do this, you can do this. All right. And what I want to do is just share two more things I have on my slides. All right. Let me just make sure I got through all my notes. I have a video I want to show you in just a second. When I was doing the future pacing of decisions, whatever decision you make has repercussions or consequences to that, right? When you say yes to yourself and you step up, aren't you saying, I am worth it? I deserve this. I'm ready for this. I'm going to achieve my goals and I'm committed. And when you say, I'm not ready, you're saying I'm not ready to achieve my goals as well, because I'm not willing to do whatever it takes. So if you're serious, I want you to figure out how you can do this. And since I'm taking all the risk as well, you have nothing to lose. But in saying yes, you have a chance to experience what the next 30 days will look like under my coaching and my team's coaching. And then you can decide. So there's no risk to you, but there's a big risk in saying no. So imagine that you say yes. Imagine you follow through. Imagine we help you put infrastructure in place. And imagine you're making an extra $5,000, $10,000. Let's say it's not in the first month, but in the second or third month. For many of you, you'll already make your money back, and then the rest is profit. That's return on energy and return on investment. But the chances of putting your infrastructure in place without our blueprints and our training is not very high, because you haven't done it up until now. So just know that in 6 months, you're going to come to a feeling. And either that feeling is one that you're proud of and you're happy with, or it's a feeling of, oh, I should have maybe done it 6 months ago and get a head start. Because if you're not further ahead in 3 months than you are right now, hitting your goal for the end of the year that you have right now is going to be 50% harder than it is right now. So we underestimate what we can do in a long period of time, and we overestimate what we can do in a short period of time. And what we can do together with me being your coach and my faculty coaching you and everybody lifting each other up is going to be 10x what you can do on your own. So I invite you to make a decision. I'm going to show you one video. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to do our Q&A session. All right. So click on the link, choose the option that's best for you. And let me share with you a story of Ruben Salazar. All right. Here's another great little video for you.
I'm Ruben Salazar, and I am the owner of Dan Certified Welding in Downey, California. Well, I've had the business since 1991, and we were moving along fairly well. Well, we went from working 6 days a week to 3. I had a nice real estate portfolio, I had stocks, and just like everybody else, those stocks went down. The real estate that I had, all of a sudden, I didn't have tenants anymore. We were paying for the mortgages. This became a real struggle. And in thinking that it was going to turn around, I created a bigger problem. And that was the fact that we were now burning through our own personal cash just to hang on to the properties. It was difficult to just even consider now who I was disappointing. And to me, that was my greatest disappointment, was looking at I could no longer help my family like I intended to. I felt like a lesser person. I didn't feel I was a man at the time. I felt that I was a loser. So as I go through this email, I'm reading that there's going to be this webinar talking exactly about that, and John was putting it on. So I had thought, wow, this sounds like something I really need to look into. So I went on the webinar and I listened, and John talked about how he was going to be breaking things down and helping entrepreneurs so that they would really have a true viable business. And that resonated with me. And we started creating a website, we started creating a marketing campaign. And as I started putting that in play, all of a sudden more and more business was coming in. And as I saw that happening, I thought, well, this is going to take forever for it to happen. But the fact is, within a few months, just with some of the small things that we were implementing, the business was starting to take off. The sales were starting to grow. As John says, when you do things in the right order at the right time, it happens. And that was all it. John gave me and all the entrepreneurs we were working together a recipe. Now we could see things going, hey, this is really possible. Not only can we live a good life, we could live an amazing life with lots of things. And seeing the potential that was there was to me, it was almost mind-boggling, because I'm like going, wow, we're able to turn this around where a couple of years ago, we felt that there was just no chance of ever coming out of this. Now I'm working 5 days a week, and sometimes there's days that I will not go into work and work a little bit here and spend time with the wife. And I have 3 grandkids, and I get to spend a lot of time with them as well. And it's, to me, spending time with them and my daughters and my family is just so, it's so incredible. It's so heartwarming to be able to do that. So if you're wondering, no, I don't know if I can do it. We all have our doubts, but if you are worried about that, absolutely. If you have that recipe, it's just a matter of getting that recipe and working it. So to me, as John says, are you committed or interested? If you're committed, this is what I can guarantee you. It will work.
So I can show you more testimonials, more stories, people just like you that were worried, scared, afraid, lack of cash, lack of time. I can show you every one of those. It's just, are you ready to say yes to you? All right. So if you're ready to say yes to you, let's get on this. Choose the right option for you, 6 months or 12 months, and let's get busy. Let's get busy building the dream, doing it the right way, and not taking another 6, 12, 18, 24, 3 years to do this. You're better off doing it right than doing it over. And let's help you build the right processes and systems now. And let's really get better at AI to help you do it literally 10 times faster, 20 times faster. Okay. So I know I went a little bit longer today on the mindset and all that stuff. And On Thursday, we're going to be talking about AI. We are doing a Q&A session today. And here's what I recommend we do. I'm going to give you a few minutes to look at the page that has all the information on the Winning the Game of Business coaching program. And if you want to do a little mathematics for yourself, ask yourself before you make a commitment is, how much can my business earn? What's its potential? 5,000 a month, 10,000 a month, $50,000 a month. How much am I earning now? And then you're going to have your gap. So if your business is doing 5,000 a month and the capability is 10,000 a month, you're costing yourself $5,000 a month times 12, right? $60,000 a year. What if in the next year we could bridge that gap and your investment is $5,500 for a year, 3,500 or so? Yeah. It's actually 35 or it's 4,000 for 6 months or 55, and you can bridge that gap. Is that a good use of your time, energy, money, and attention? So do that, and let's do this. We'll take a 10-minute break. All right. So many of you can sign up, ask questions of Carolyn or the team. I'm going to get some more tea. I'll come back and we'll answer questions. For an hour, 15 minutes. Is that all right, everyone? Give me a thumbs up. And did you learn a ton today about your own inner game? You may not know how powerful you are because you have not yet learned how to first be aware of, then manage and master your mindset. But you have $100 billion brain that has been conditioned by parents, teachers, environment, time in a very, very limited way. And based on neuroplasticity, we can rewire your brain. Takes about 90 days to do it right so that it starts to build itself. And I have all the tools for you. All you've got to do is put your headphones on, and I will be not only your business growth coach, but your mindset coach. And let's do this together. Carolyn, I'm going to go to get some more iced tea. And yes, my proverbial nuts and seeds. And today, Morton, the only homework is keep doing the stuff you were doing. There is no homework today. All right. So Carolyn, I'm going to be right back. And I'll be back in 8 minutes, and everybody else can take a break, take a look. And if you have any questions on the program, I'll answer them. If you have any questions on the guarantee, if you have any questions on what we're doing for the next 30 days, Carolyn, maybe you could pull up the speakers we have coming up as well over the next 30 days. All right, Riza, it's time you re-enroll, by the way. I sent you a message.
Yeah, I already reached out to Elsa, and she's going to reach out to him to get all set up.
Get you set up again. All right.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and mute and get off camera, but I will get, it's Ray actually. So
Ray, that's right. You always
take it away.
Ray, how are you, superstar?
You're the superstar. I'm just trying to follow your coattail.
So you were in the program for 6 months. You participated like crazy. You're a great student. How was the value in the program?
Best thing I've ever done in my life. That's the best thing I could tell you.
Thank you, Ray. Nice.
And I wrote in the comments, if you're not going to do this, I hate to say this, but I'm kind of blunt like you are. If you don't invest in yourself, who are you going to invest?
Well, sometimes people don't believe in themselves and they don't realize that's what they need to do to stop feeling that way. And so there's different reasons why. But Alice, by the way, congratulations. I'm proud of you. I just saw Alice up there. All right, Ray, I know you're an insurance broker selling health and Medicare and life insurance. I've set up multiple marketing packages for other insurance agents. Here's the question. What's the best way to market, sell, and price my programs? Okay. So let's dive deep into what you mean. What's the best way to market, sell what programs? Your insurance programs?
What I did is most insurance agents, John, I know you work with insurance agents all the time. We all have the same problem that every business has, is how to get good quality leads.
Yep.
That's the number one thing I learned from you. So
we're going to go back to paid or unpaid, right? Paid or unpaid, 2 options. Online or offline, 2 options. right? So
Okay.
first question I'm gonna ask myself is this: when somebody is looking to buy insurance, okay? So let's take a look at my avatar. And everybody, I want you to ask yourself this same question. And by the way, this is what we do in our Q&A sessions, right, Ray?
Yes. If I may interrupt you for a second, I'm not trying to sell insurance to individuals. I develop a program where I personally use to get referrals from financial planners, tax planners, and property and casualty agents.
Love it. Even better. So you have a
Because nobody else
program.
has it.
Yeah. Um, one of my friends, and there's actually a training in the program with Charles Bird, BYRD. Carolyn, if you could pull up the training by Charles Bird, who makes millions of dollars with referrals and his programs. It's in our program. It's an interview I did with him. But Ray, if you have a program that you sell to insurance brokers, I would be using LinkedIn as a strategy. No, for sure, LinkedIn is a strategy. One of the things that we will teach you how to do in there's a LinkedIn training we just did last week or the week before with Rhonda Sher, Sher. Okay.
Yeah, I know who she is. She's awesome.
Well, there's a training on how to use LinkedIn to get business.
Okay.
Part one. Part two. I would probably use an AI scraping tool. I would use an AI scraping tool. Give me 1 second. And give me 1 second over here.
If I may, John, if I may, John, I have a list of fairly close insurance agents, about 20, 30 of them, so I
Yep.
can start selling it to them first.
Yeah. So you need to create your communications package.
Yeah.
So if you know them, and let's say you have their email, okay, or
Yeah.
you have their phone, either way, we're going to look for communications to the people, the warm list. And you're going to create a phenomenal, okay, opening email. The purpose of the email is not to sell them the package. The purpose of the email is to get them on a call with you where you can do a presentation. Now, the purpose of the email would be something like, hey, Ray, John Asraf here. I know that we've talked about, or I know you may not know this, but I get 82% of my business from referrals. And as a result, I'm able to earn X, Y, or Z, or as a result, we put a big fat claim. And I'm choosing 10 other brokers for me to teach what I do so that they can increase their income by 50 to 100% this year. If you're interested, because we're friends, let's set up a call and I'll explain it to you. So the only purpose of the first communication is to create interest. It's not to make a sale. So I'm going to send it to those 20 or 30 people, customized for them, short. I hope you're doing great. Hope the family's doing great. How's your dog? How's the parrot? Right? The reason I'm emailing you, or on a phone call. Hey, Ray, John Asraf here. How you been? Great. Ray, what's up? Hey, listen, I don't know if this is for you or not, but you probably know I get like 85% of my business from referrals. I decided to put a program together to teach it to other insurance brokers so that they can make an extra 50, 100,000, whatever it is, a year. And I want to talk to you about two potential things. Number one, do you have any interest in me sharing with you what it is and how you could apply in your business? If yes, great. And if no, who do you think might be interested, that you know? Okay. That's the people I know. Next, I would get a list of all the managers of insurance brokers. First, the one you work with, and see if you could set up a master class of how you are doing this. So now we create a joint venture partnership with the company you work with. You create a master class for educating and selling, which is different than a presentation program. Right? And in that particular case, Ray, I want you to watch the Carl Harvey training we have in the Winning Game of Business program.
Yeah, I watched it. I'll watch it again.
Was it great?
It's fantastic. Everything you do is great.
Thank you, Ray. So this is kind of like I said to you, we're going to go directly to our contacts. That's like avatars 1. Avatar 2, we're going to go after, the industry, but instead of just going after the industry, one person at a time, I'm going to focus on the managers to coalesce the people first in my own company, then the companies I have contacts with, and I'm going to make this big fat promise and claim. So I need to get the ambassadors, the managers of the other companies who are managing their insurance salespeople, right? And I'm going to create a world-class presentation that is persuasion-based, where I teach and show and give them some great value that then has them wondering, like, how do I go deep? How do I, can I have the entire system from you? And then you're going to do one-to-many selling. 3, you can create joint ventures with companies that'll actually buy your system for their agents.
Never thought of that.
Just stick around. I'll give you a couple more ideas. But you see
That's why you
what I'm
took
with this?
100,000.
So I can go, one-to-one with people I know. I can go one-to-many, okay, within my own company. I can go one to managers, and then I can go one to thousands and tens of thousands. How? I use AI to scrape the names of every insurance agent, okay, that I want to reach in a certain geographic area. The AI can do the research on who they are, where they're from. It'll search their LinkedIn profile, it'll search their social media profile. It'll then create a custom letter for them that you could email to them or send them a message on LinkedIn.
If I may interject just for real quick, and this is fantastic. I already know people who have huge Facebook groups for insurance agents, and I know the owners of the agencies personally. I'll just talk to them.
Absolutely. But I don't want you to just call them. I want you to have a precision script.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'll just use AI for that.
It's a precision script. Absolutely. We don't just call, right? We don't just call. We have a precision script for persuasion. Okay. It's a persuasion.
Should I use chat or cloud?
I would use both and see which one sounds the best. But the prompt that I would use, all right, would be, I want you to act as an expert in cold calling, persuasion, selling. I have an insurance program to sell to the managers of companies who manage insurance agent. Give me a world-class phone script that is short, precise, that'll cause them to want to know more. So I'll give you an example. If it was me, it would be something like this. Hi, Ray, this is John Asraf, and I'm with ABC Insurance, and the purpose of my call is this. In the first few seconds, I said who I am, who I'm with, and the purpose of my call. Why would I say that if I'm doing a cold call? What are they thinking? Who the hell is this? Who the hell is
trying to sell me something?
Who the hell is this? So I'm going to say the purpose of my call is this. I'm going to deal with the objection they already have. Everybody, all good marketing does what? It enters the mind of the prospect in advance and takes care of their objections in advance and what it is that they want. So who is this? Hey, this is Ray. All right. And, I'm with XYZ Insurance, and the purpose of my call is this. I've developed a referral-based program that has helped me generate blank, blank, blank with these kinds of results. And I would like to discuss with you how we could be teaching this to your agents so that they can increase their sales by 50 to 100%. May I give you some information about it? If they say yes, great. You better have the next part of the script. If they say no, you don't just say, oh, okay, bye. What do you say? Okay, I understand. Just so I understand, if I can help you with a program that's been proven to work, you don't want to help your agents make more money, whereby they're doing better for you and your company?
Yeah, because they get overrides on everything other
Of
agents
course.
sell anyway.
Of course. Right? And yeah, you can try grok too, but that makes sense. So I'm going to have a script that is very, very precise. I'm going to know if they say yes, what I'm saying next. If they say no, what I'm saying next. And I'm going to be prepared for either way. That's called professional selling. Now, email, a LinkedIn message, a text, all of it has to trigger, all of them has to have psychological triggers in there. Nothing will trigger more than making money or getting out of pain. If you're a doctor, you want to make twice as much money this year and with half the cost, pay attention. If you're a coach and you want to get 3 extra sales a month so you can make at least $100,000 a month more, pay attention. If you're a coach, stop making these 3 mistakes and start doing this instead to make an extra $500,000 a year. I have seconds. I got your attention.
What's the best way to prove to them if the system works?
Show them. Don't tell them. Show them. Like, show them.
Show them the from A to Z process?
No. You show them. I've built this infrastructure. All right. You can show them what it does, but not how it does it.
What it
I'll give you an
does?
example. I developed, a phone script, followed by email scripts, followed by following them on social media. I've developed the script and the methodology. Okay. It's called the RISA method to 10x insurance sales. Right? I'm using RISA. Right? So you name it and claim it. That's branding.
So I'm not going to get on a webinar with you and show you my whole system, just the very basics.
Well, there's a psychology for what you show.
Okay.
And don't be afraid to give a lot of stuff so that people go, wow, I want to own this and buy this. I want your help to implement it. So you have to build your irresistible offer first. Then you create the presentation around the pains, the fears, the frustrations, irritations that they have.
Yeah. Because what I'm going to do. I know I'll let you go in a minute. I don't want to take all your time, but I have about 7 or 8 agents that are very close to me.
Yeah.
I'm just going to tell them that let's try the system on a very, very basic pace. And in order for you to try the system, you have to give me testimonials, and I can use those testimonials to sell to other agents.
Well, yeah, let's change it. We're not going to try the system. We're going to implement the system, and I'm going to help you get results. And what I'm asking for you in advance are 2 things. Number 1 is you're going to give me a video testimonial. Number 2, pay me after you've achieved the results you want. If you're just getting testimonials on the front end.
Pay me after?
Yeah. I'm normally going to charge people, $2,000 for the system, $2,500 for the system, whatever the amount is. Because I'm working with 5 people to get my testimonials, I'll do it for free on the front end. Pay me $500 on the back end after you've made money and you see how powerful this is. So you don't do it for free.
I would take that.
Well, I know you would. Right? So again, make an irresistible offer to get the testimonials you want and to tweak your system for other people.
Great. Thank you, John. I really appreciate you. Thank you.
Appreciate you too, Ray. And I love that you always take action. So I'm always willing to give you a lot of help. Right? Everybody, by the way, this is the type of stuff that members come on. Here's what I want to do. We're not sure how to do it. I tell them what to do, give them ideas, help them come up with solutions for it. They go and implement, they come back with the results, and then we move forward. Okay, who's next, Carolyn?
Next up is Martha. And Martha, if you could turn on your camera, that would be awesome. And I'm just going to read out this list. After that, we're going to Aisha, then Inta, then Ronald. So be ready, everyone. Martha, can you turn on your camera?
Yes, sorry,
Awesome.
I was just writing to you that I had a procedure today and I'm really kind of wow. But I'm here. Anyway, so I had two questions and one of them it was and they've been answered. So I'm a spiritual coach, I'm a healer. I come from the Deborah Poneman, you can
Yes.
categorize me there. And so the pace is so fast and furious. I work a full-time job. I've had my husband has been ill for a long time, so I'm the sole, everything here. So I maneuver all that, but I really want to do this and my pace would be a lot better. That is my only question, really. And I've been told yes. I've been told yes that at the 6-month rate I can have access to the library as well forever, which
Yeah,
is
we have the brain training in the library. You get to keep for life, everybody. That's part of the foundation optimization implementation. So yes, many people, listen, there's some people, Martha, that they eat everything up in 30 days. They go 2 hours a day,
no,
right? And
it's
there's other
great.
people, that do 1 hour a week, but they
Yeah,
do the right things. And they
exactly.
built their infrastructure. But for somebody who has limited time,
Hmm.
I would want to make sure for you that you have the right offer and the
Hmm.
right way to sell it so you can maximize how many sales you make.
Absolutely. That would, I mean, I already feel that, the little I could do in general, because like I said, I'm in the middle of procedures and stuff.
Yeah.
The little I could do is already great. I can see already so many things to do. And so I'm delighted. And I am an inner size. I did your millionaire mindset and I'm ready for this. So it's
Awesome.
cool. Yeah.
And how have you found our other programs?
Through Deborah.
No, how is the quality and
Oh, how did I find not literally. Oh man, I love it. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
we'll see you in the next program, and I'll remember what you do and look
I
forward to
hope
it,
so.
Martha.
Yeah. Well,
Huh?
awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Congratulations to Anne also. She just posted
And
that she's in.
Oh, Martha, I'm so sorry I muted you. Can you unmute?
no problem. I just gonna tell you, I'm gonna buy it on Thursday because right now I'm gonna go take a nap.
No problem. Go rest up. Thank you. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Martha needs that day off tomorrow.
Great.
Heal well.
How many of you like having a day off? Like Sunday, one day off, Wednesday, a day off. You can catch up, do some of the homework. All right, let's get who's on next.
Aisha next.
Aisha, hello. Hello, our Moroccan
And
coach.
from Montreal. I bet
Coach,
you were
coach.
from Saint Laurent, right?
I used to live in Chamonix, and I used to live in Laval. I'm sorry, in York. No, I'm talking Toronto. I used to live in Van Horn and then Chamonix.
Van Horn. Okay, yeah, I know both. Yeah, I am in Ville Saint Laurent. Yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, I have a concern and questions, and I would love you to challenge me a bit. Okay,
Let's do it.
yes. So the concern is, as I said, my Frankenstein is telling me that I had like different programs also, and I already have like more than what I need to succeed. I have a college degree in coaching and mentoring and I have different certification. However, I am challenged. I have different challenges that is holding me back, kind of. So
You're not alone. We have many.
I know.
We have many PhDs, double PhDs, doctors, surgeons, lawyers, coaches with
Yeah.
3 different types of coaching that are stuck. So you're not alone.
Yeah, thank you. So I am committed. I would love to do it. Just the next few months are going to be really challenged because I did this in the past, the story, pay attention to my story. I tried to do this. I'd like challenge myself. Let's do it. My challenges took me back to the reality. I am full-time parent caregiver, for I have someone who needs my attention really like full-time. And I have also my job as a consultant that I'm letting go. And I am moving. I have to get ready all my house to move to Canada in this summer. So it's just like, and I did this in the past, and I ended up in the ER.
No, that's not good. We don't want you to be. Yeah.
So I want to have another feedback.
Yeah. So a couple of things. I understand the Frankie's brain, right? Frankie's operating, and Frankie's just doing his job. What if I burn out? What if I end up in the hospital again? What if I don't have time? What if I can't fill out further? What if? And your brain's going to answer, well, if that happens, then it's not going to be good. And it's going to be painful mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially. It's going to be painful and uncomfortable. So that's one part of your brain, right? That's one part of your brain. Let's go to the other possibility, right? It's like I mentioned the other day, right? That part of your brain is working, this side, the Frankie's right prefrontal cortex, it's called. But let's go to Einstein. Right? Let's go to Einstein. So let's feel that, and we go, there's nothing wrong with feeling that. So your feelings are fine. They're normal and accurate because it's a possibility. And our brain's early warning detection mechanism kicks in because you have references that it's a possibility. Smart. Now, let's go to the other side and say, with everything that you know about yourself, your commitments, your move, what would have to happen in order for you to get involved with the program, do it at your pace? So a couple things happen. One, you learn and create the infrastructure at your pace over the next 6 months. And while you did that, how many clients would you need to get in order to more than make the limited amount of time worth it for you without increasing your stress and overwhelm? Right? If you said, I can invest 1 to 2 hours a week, 30 minutes here, an hour here, and I could build some of the infrastructure that I need so that I'm ready in 90 days and I could turn on the button and things are working. If you, for example, build your sales process first, and then if you then build your content second, so you took a Saturday morning or a Sunday evening and you said, okay, I'm going to focus on my content for 100 days. I'm going to focus on my sales process. I'm going to focus on my website. Whatever it is, we chunk it down into doable so that when you're ready to go, 10 hours, 20 hours, whatever it is you're going to be working, you're hitting the ground running, but you're putting infrastructure in place. And let me give you a different story. Let's say you want to get into real estate. All right. And let's say you want to be in commercial real estate. You have a couple of options, right? Option one, buy a shopping center or a building. Okay, the building is built, the shopping center is built, there's tenants there already, there's money that's being made, and you're going to pay for the real estate, you're going to pay for the shopping center being there, and you're going to pay for the cash flow that's already there. And it's already running. But if you want to build, a 5-unit or 10-unit, apartment, and you need to buy the land, you make no money. You have to build the building, you make no money. You have no tenants, so you're spending money to get infrastructure in place, then you rent, then you make money. So what if your frame now was, I'm not going to go fast right now, I'm going to go slow to build my infrastructure. And I'm going to invest what you tell me, 2 hours a week, 1 hour a week, 3 hours a week, 5 hours a month, 10 hours a month. And over the next 6 months, I'm going to put 20, 30, 40 hours, into my infrastructure. So when I am ready, I can hit the button and I'm going. And here's what I can tell you. One of the testimonies we have is from Mark Lack, right? He's one of our young students. He was 25 when he came into our environment. He was able to go from zero to a fully functional business in 30 days. Because he had the time. But he spent, 25 hours a week working on the infrastructure. There wasn't AI back then. You can get done with AI in 1 hour what it would normally take you 10, 20, 30 hours to do. So if you use the tool for the leverage, it's insane. Like, let me show you something. Give me 1 second. Let me show you something over here. All right, we'll do some of this on Thursday, but let's go to GPT. All right. I'll show you all something because you're all here. I want you to act as an expert in putting strategic plans in place, specifically for marketing, my coaching services, where I help the spouses of expats feel safe, comfortable, secure.
Rediscover their full potential abroad.
What was that? Give me the rest of it.
Rediscover their full potential abroad, like in a new country.
Yeah, give me 1 sec. Abroad. So I'm just going to do this, right? So I can come up with ideas. I'm just going to show you something really, really quickly.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say, give me 1 strategy and 3 tactics to implement to achieve my goal of 1 new client a month. Okay, how's that? So how long did it take me to prompt this? Seconds, right? Seconds.
1 second.
I don't even have to write this. So let's say you had only 30 minutes a day. And you say, okay, I'm going to spend 10 minutes developing 1 strategy, right, and 1 tactic. And I go to use Claude. Right? Position yourself as a go-to expert, develop strategic partners with relocation and expat support organization, leveraging trust and immediate visibility among your ideal clients. So it's telling you what you could do. So it's giving you 1 strategy. Position yourself as a go-to expert. Okay? With strategic partnerships with relocation and expat support communities. So that's a good
Can you
idea.
share your screen?
Oh, I thought I was. Sorry. I'm going to show you what I just did. So I just went in and I prompted. Thank you, everyone. So I prompted, right? I want you to act as an expert in putting strategic plans in place, specifically for marketing, my coaching services, where I help the spouse of expats feel safe, comfortable in their new location abroad. Give me 1 strategy and 3 tactics. So it said the strategy position yourself as a go-to expert developing strategic partnerships with relocation and expat support organizations, leveraging trust and immediate visibility. Then it's saying host monthly webinars in partnership with relocation agencies, create strategic referral partnership, offer complimentary one-on-one comfort abroad consultation, right? So how long did it take me just to come up with an idea?
10 seconds.
Yeah, seconds, right? All right, watch this. Give me the names of the top relocation and expat support organizations with emails and contacts so that I can reach out to them. All right? So I'm going to have it do the work. It's searching the web now. There we go. How long did this take me to do?
Few seconds.
Yeah, a few seconds. So what am I trying to say here? Little techniques like this, and I'm not saying this is what you should do. I'm saying I could come up with 10 options. From the 10 options, come up with 1 that works. And if you got 30 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, you can come up with a strategy, get the names, create an email, send it out, and using AI, it'll do all this for you. So it will work while you're asleep doing your other things. So where you invest your attention is on the solution to achieve the goal based on your availability or limitations. So what if we could build some structure in 3 months and you could be making 5 or 10 extra $1,000 a month on month 3 or 4 or 5 or 6?
That would be great.
Well, but see,
I need that money to. I have a medical challenges that I need a lot of money to get to heal.
I got it, but do you understand what I'm saying? Is your Frankie's brain is going to go, what if negative? But the Einstein brain is going to go, well, what could I do? And I'm going to show you through. If you say to me, John, I don't want to do that. I say, okay, Aisha, let's try this. I don't want to do that either. Good, let's try that. So we'll come up in 5 minutes or less, 20 ideas that you could implement. You go, oh, I like that one. Great. Let's put a plan in place to implement that. And in your half an hour a week, that's all you're doing is implementation, half hour a week, 2 hours a month. In 6 months, that's 12 hours of focused energy and attention. And if we can get 1 or 2 or 3 clients from that, you've 3, 4, 5x your investment by being laser focused versus focusing on fear and why it doesn't work. Our brain, everybody, naturally goes to the negative first for protection. Now, my job and my team's job is to get you to be aware of that, because there's nothing wrong with that. But you don't want to live your life on the negative, what if, negative, because that's what you create.
Yeah. So actually, my brain is going to both. Okay. So to challenges and also what I have. So I know that I have the skills, I have the knowledge, and I have also one of the best niche I can work for. And, I know that so many people like wants that kind of help. So
That's great. Well, we need to
just
focus
to balance
on
between
how you
them.
can, and let's get busy.
Do you offer like some one-on-one support?
Only like this in our calls. On our calls, you submit a question, and then you can show me stuff. I'll review it while everybody watches, or we'll do ChatGPT or Claude or one of the other tools, and everybody learns together. And it's insane how much you learn on our sessions.
And what about like the social media review? Do you offer that also? Or?
Well, again, you can ask for us to take a look at one of your things, or your social media channel, or your LinkedIn channel. Like I said, we had an expert for LinkedIn. We have an expert for Instagram. We had an expert for TikTok. So yes.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. We're going to help make sure you do it right versus doing it over or wasting your time, being busy to being productive.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Who's next? I think, is it Ron?
Ronald is next. Yes. Ronald, his camera's on. All he's got to do is unmute.
Hello, Ron. Nice to see you again. Ron, tell us where you're from again and what do you do?
I'm sorry. Los Angeles.
LA, just up the street from me.
Oh, yes.
Is the city recovering after those crazy fires?
We were south of the fires. Fortunately, I never got across the 405. We were about a mile and a half south of Sunset, which wasn't a warning area.
Yeah, I used to live in Topanga. Right, I was building a house in Calabasas, right off Topanga Canyon. And Malibu Road is where I was building a house, and then moved to San Diego instead.
Well, I lived on PCH at one time in a house that's no longer there because of the fires.
Yikes. My friends Alan Hamill and Suzanne Summers lived there.
Oh,
Still died, but their house burned. Rebuilt it.
First, by way of acknowledgement, I'm here because my life partner Hyla has been going to JJ's classes for years and apparently met you there.
Oh, great! Thank you.
So she said, sign up for this or get on it. I think your program a couple months ago, and I've been I was using Chat before, but now using Claude and Gamma.
Great.
Because of your recommendations, and I'm amazed at how much comes out.
Incredible.
So it's an honor.
Thank you.
It was also interesting for me just before.
What do you do, Ron?
Sorry?
What do you do?
I'm a co-founder of a company that's reinvented the architecture of electric motors and generators that are 98.4% efficient. We extend battery range by 10 to 30%, reduce electricity usage. Our business model is to license our technology. We'll also build a prototype, test it for the person meeting their specifications. Our challenge, our cost for that first segment might be 400,000 to $1.5 million, and then say a royalty license after that. They can build it themselves, have someone else build it.
Got it. So long sales cycle.
So very long, and it's a limited number of people we can work with at a given time, and it's also getting people to change what they've been doing for years and spend tens of millions of dollars doing it their own way.
Got it.
I'm not selling a product per se. I'm selling a concept to make a difference in their life.
Yeah. And there's also something called the switch cost. And people avoid the switch cost, switch it from what they have to what you are proposing. So there's the mental and emotional switch cost in your sales cycle you have to consider.
Acknowledge we've been great. We've gone through multiple iterations. We have over 100 patents on this technology, so it's
Nice.
very real. But we've done a horrible job of marketing. I'm a corporate lawyer. I was general counsel of a $500 million computer services company. I prevent problems, but I'm not good at marketing. I can talk to people, I can meet people easily, but there's a difference because I'm not trained as an engineer in that area, so I can't speak their language the way they would speak it, or at least
And they speak a very unique language.
acknowledge.
It's like programmers. When we were building bamboo.com, we had 70 programmers that would work like from 5 o'clock in the afternoon till 5 o'clock in the morning. And we'd go into their offices. It was all dark and I couldn't understand what they were talking about. Like, what language are you guys speaking? So totally there. So your question for today is, my friend?
So I'm using LinkedIn. One of the channels that came up yesterday was using LinkedIn, and they gave us some strategies. Right now, one of my other partners, without having to pay LinkedIn, went through, found a couple thousand people we should talk to, sent out in a limited number of basis with no URLs attached to get through spam, a couple thousand. But his opening list percentage apparently is 60%, which is incredible. So we have a really
yes and no.
but we have had very little.
Yeah, hold on.
Coming to us and asking for information.
I'm out. Ron,
okay.
Everybody pay attention to what I'm about to say. Remember in the last several days, I told you I lost millions of dollars because of email issues last year. So email has changed. So let's say this is my email service provider and this is your email service provider. So I create an email and I hit send. Let's say the email is good and, and I hit send. You may not be aware of this, Ron or everybody else, but 70 to 90% of all email service providers open up your email first to see if it's spam. Then it travels through the internet or space and time, right? Cables or satellite, whatever methodology you're using. And then it reaches your email provider. They open it to make sure there isn't spam in there. And then if the end user has your email inside their database, they go, okay, these two people know each other. So first thing to understand, open rates now are a waste of time as far as an indicator whether the end user opened it, because most emails are now opened by the email service providers.
Oh.
Yes, I didn't know that either.
Thank you.
So I thought my emails are getting in 97% of the time. No, they weren't. We were ending up in one of 5 folders: spam, junk, promotions, inbox, primary, or it wasn't even going through. It took me 3 months to figure it out and fix it, and $30,000. So first, there's nothing wrong with links as long as they're the right type of links, but you don't want more than 2 in an email. So there's this entire email deliverability process that you have to go through. If you're going to send out to 1,000 people, you never send out to 1,000 people. You send out to 3 batches of 20 with 3 different subject lines, because the subject line determines whether somebody will even look at it. And then if they do look at it and open it, 60%, 65% of emails are opened up on mobile phones. If it's going to a direct person versus somebody in a company. So the subject line determines whether they open it. If they open it, your opening hook has got to be outstanding, especially if it's a cold email. So here's what a lot of people are doing now. They're using AI, for example. They take that list of 1,000, Ron, and they actually do research. They let the AI do the research on the individuals, on LinkedIn, on their social media, and then the AI crafts a personalized email for them. Then they're starting to get open rates, click-through rates, and in some cases, calls. So think of email as a strategy with tactics, but you have to play the game at the pro level now. Why? Because people like me know how to scrape millions of emails if I want, or tens of thousands, do the research on the individual and said, and I could, let's say, email you, Ron, saying former attorney syndrome, right? In my subject line, you're gonna go, oh, I wonder what that is. Hey, Ron, I did some research on you on LinkedIn. And as a former attorney, you're probably interested in blank, blank, and blank. So I can customize an email based on the scraping of information about you in today's day and world and make the email sound very, very personalized. But the problem we're all having is obviously Google, Microsoft, Apple, they all know this is happening and they're trying to prevent spam. So they're opening up those emails. They're reading the emails to see the personalized nature of those emails. Our protocol now, just so you know, we will use AI to write an email. We will then go to an email reading platform that'll tell us which words are triggering spam right now on which platform. We then take the email. Before every email, it's our protocol now. Why? Because it's not fun losing millions of dollars. Then we put it through another tool to analyze how many inboxes it goes into. Gmail Business, Outlook, Microsoft, Apple, all of these. So we take the email, we send it to these email addresses to see which one it goes through into the inbox, which one goes into promotions, and then we retweak the email to make sure that it's going to get into the inbox.
Wow.
We've never had to do that before. I send 1 to 2 million emails a month. 70 to 80% of my emails from June until November were going into junk or spam because one employee made a massive error and we were flagged as spammers even though we don't spam. So the reason you're not getting the results you want is probably your email tactical execution.
I know we've been doing limited number of mailings, so it doesn't appear to be spam, but I wasn't aware of how it was being read or treated.
Well, but let's say it's not perceived as spam. You know what it tells me then? What you're saying in the email is not catching anybody's attention for them to respond to you. So that means that your copy is less than stellar. I want to take this opportunity to help you understand something. You remember I showed you the pyramid of kindergarten, grade school, high school, university, pro? There are pros competing against me and you right now that understand social media marketing like the beast, at insane levels of skill, because they do that for 8, 10, 12, 15 hours a day, full day, all day. And they either do it for themselves or then they teach it to other people. There's people who are experts at email delivery. People who are experts in copywriting. People who are experts in sales. Everything is being done at levels we have never seen before by 15-year-olds that have the time, energy, they don't have the money, but they're using AI to do it better, faster, easier at a pro level. And everything requires a little bit of expertise. I'm in several masterminds, 2 of them, with people who do between $10 million and $100 million a year, all of which are doing 90% of it online.
Yeah.
And it would make your head spin when you saw what some of these folks are doing, that we're leveling each other's game up. So we're teaching them about how we're using ads, and they're teaching us about how they're doing email, and they're teaching. It's like the game has changed so drastically. Between us, well, our clients earn billions. Between us, we probably do $1 billion in sales in the two groups or more, but we're spending easily 150, 200 million in marketing at least. So the stuff that we are learning, and all of them are into AI, all of them. And when you see what it can do, I mean, you just won't believe it. It's insane. The stuff that would take you 40, 50, 60 hours of research to do, 15 minutes.
No, I'm amazed already.
Yeah. So, I'll show you some stuff on Thursday. So, Ron, I love what you're doing, and your message to market. There's the mismatch.
Thank you. Let me just, one qualification, I have to learn how to change. Ronald's my first name. I go by my middle name, which is Morgan, for the last 25 years.
So here's, you know what you can do? Go to your top 3 dots on your top of your right screen.
Yeah.
And you'll see about halfway down, it says rename.
Yeah, at the bottom. Okay.
Just hit rename and just type in Morgan. And you change your name to Morgan Harwith.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. There you go. Easy, right? Little techniques. Thank you, Morgan.
I also share with you, I have a gift also in intuitive energy work. And just before I was being called, I tuned into signing up for your program, and I got this shaking that I had a lot of stuff to release and give away, so I will sign up.
Awesome. Thank you. I'll see you in the program, and we'll give you the level of help at even clicking 3 buttons.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you, Morgan. Great to connect with you. Tell your wife I said hi.
Will do.
All right. Thank you.
By the way, everyone, the one thing I want to remind some of you is there's other people who do what you do. I get it, but they don't bring you to the equation, right? They don't do it the way you do it. They don't say it the way you say it. They don't care the way you care. So don't worry about competition. You've got to be smart, but just remember to bring your unique self, because people feel who you are. Would you agree with that? Communication, words only account for about 7% of communication. The rest is done at this vibrational, energetic level. And when somebody's lying, when it doesn't feel right, something feels off. And everything you say and do, either people are paying attention and move in and believe you, or they're moving away because they're not feeling right. So invite people to get to know your authentic self. One of the reasons I love doing these Q&A sessions and doing these training sessions is people get a chance to work with me and my team. And I hope that you decide one way or another to hire a coach to help you. And if it's my team and I, we welcome that opportunity. But find somebody who you resonate with how they do what they do versus what they do. Does that make sense, everyone? How people do what they do. There's a saying in the personal development field that says, how somebody does anything is how they do everything. I believe that. Okay. One more question, and then we'll wrap it up for today.
John,
Carolyn?
did we skip Inta?
I don't know.
No, I don't know. Inta, do you want to let us know in the chat? No, did she come on for Q&A?
No, let's get into Diane,
yeah, I didn't think so.
Congratulations.
All righty. Wow, I can't believe this is the end of day 5, John. All right.
I know.
I get really sad when the challenge ends.
Not that much. We still have one more day. We're gonna we do a little bit of AI each day, more the first 4 days, and then a lot of AI on our bonus alt all day. Inta, nice to see you again.
Good to see you, John.
How are you? Tell everybody where you're from and what do you do?
Well, I'm originally from Russia, from Moscow, but now I live in New York and I'm in real estate.
Love it. Okay. So, Okay, so you want me to answer. John, can you talk about how you made $1 million in a year or secured a $1 million contract? Also, do I know of a good AI to produce? Is that what you want me to answer?
Yes. Like AI tool for trading also, like that predict maybe next 3 days trading. If you
Yeah.
know.
Um, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'm going to find something that I have right over here. I sent something to one of our team members who likes to invest. Hold on, where is it?
John, you should send it to me too. I like to invest.
All right, so Carolyn, I'm gonna forward a message to you on how to build an AI hedge fund app.
Wow.
Wow.
So I'm gonna send it to Carolyn. This was a post on Twitter, and it's actually phenomenal. Carolyn, maybe we can show it to everybody.
Yep.
All right, so Inta, how to make $1 million a year. So you can make $1 million a year finding one client who, by helping them, you can help them make 10 million, 50 million, $100 million. And they will pay you to do that. Right? So you can sell one diamond, you can sell one piece of art, you can sell 10 pieces of art, depending on what you do. But if
Right. For real estate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so if you
This
do
case.
real estate, so you ask yourself this question. So one of my friend's wives, his name is Randy Zales, and there's Jennifer Zales. They're in Tampa, Florida, and she got into real estate, and she's making 3 to 5 million a year herself. And before she got into real estate, she asked me, John, how did you do so well in real estate? I said, I worked backwards from the number of the number that I had. So let's say you want to make $1 million a year. Is that gross?
Okay. Let's make it gross.
Gross. Okay. So the price range that you sell homes is what price range?
Well, look, my ideal price range in 50 million. I didn't do that yet.
50 million price range,
And more, right?
$50 million homes.
Apartments, yes, in Manhattan.
Okay. So you have to sell one building in a year to make $1 million.
Right.
Okay. So one building in a year to make $1 million. And that's very, very reasonable. Right? There's people who sell way more than that.
Right.
Right, in Manhattan. So my question would be is who are the companies and or individuals that are buying 50 to $100 million buildings in Manhattan right now? Who own them? Do you have all of their names, phone numbers, emails? Who owns the buildings right now? Who are the investment groups that buy buildings, 50 million, $100 million buildings in Manhattan right now? Who are the investment groups in the US or internationally? What funds buy real estate as part of their portfolio? What investment communities or investment groups put their money together? So I would compile a list of all the people that own these homes or own these buildings, and I compile a list of all of the investors that are out there. And I would be doing outreach campaigns to get them into my environment and orbit. What conferences are they going to? What groups are they a part of? What magazines, newspapers are they reading? Where are they doing their research? And I would insert myself in all of those places. So think about it slightly differently. Let's say you want to sell this right over here, right? This is my clicker for my PowerPoints. All right. I have to get in front of people who want to buy this, right? So I could say, everybody, hey, how many of you are going to be doing presentations on multiple computers? Let me just share with you that I bought this Targus for $99, And you just stick this into your Macintosh computer. There's a battery in here, and there's a really nice case for it with an extra battery here. And I want to sell this for $10. Anybody want to buy it? I'll even include shipping for that money. So you have to get in front of the right people who are either selling or buying those buildings. So I would love to see your plan for 30 days, 100 days, 180 days of how many people are you going to get in front of and stay in front of? How many conferences are you going to go to? Carolyn, can you mute whoever is talking in the background, please?
So it's actually behind Inta.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I just mute myself for a moment.
Well, I need you to respond now. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
So, do you have the plan to get in front of 100 people in the next 3, 4, 5 months?
I have a plan, but by whatever you said, you brought up a lot of creative ideas, and I'm changing my plan.
Great. And then you need to implement the plan.
Right. But thank you. That was great.
So I always reverse engineer from the goal.
Right.
All right. So everybody, do you have your target number that you want to make this year? Yes. Do you have how many clients you need to hit that target number? No. Do you know how many prospects you need to get them qualified to hit that number? No. Do you have the marketing to get the prospects? No. You're never going to hit that goal. That's for all of you.
Right. You're very right.
Yeah, you're all of you are suffering from that. You're like hoping and praying that things fall into place. That's like having an explosion in a printing press, hoping and praying that a book comes out of it.
Working less.
Right? That's like having a printing press with ink and paper and book binding stuff explode, and all of a sudden, in the middle of the air, it's going to, and they're going to have, bam, here's your book. That's what most of you are using as your strategy. And I can guarantee you, I'll bet against you because you won't do it. So think, plan, do, then review and tweak. All right, Inta, thank you. I hope that answers your question and everybody else.
John, can I, Inta, I'm going to ask you to unmute because we can't hear you, dear.
About the investments, like if you have anything for the predicting trading.
Predicting what?
Like for if you know some AI
your background noise is a little too noisy.
I'm sorry, if you have any tools to predict the investments, like the stocks.
Well,
I'm going to put the link in the chat.
There's AI tools you can use to build it. All right. I don't know any AI tools. There are AI tools that can predict it. All you need to do is do some research. Go into Grok, G-R-O-K. I'm going to put a link for you that I found a few days ago on Grok of somebody who's basically created some agents to do AI type of investments. But all of you, take a look at this video and you're going to see what's possible with AI. It'll blow your mind.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Inta. All right. Let me just see. I think we have all of our notes and everything done. And all right, everyone, as always, I ask on a scale of 1 to 10, how was today's session and training on the mindset and the sales process and the Q&A session for you? And then listen, here's your chance, right, to step up and really feel like empowered to achieve your business goals and dreams. Yes, you need to invest some time, you need to invest some money, but you're losing money every day, every week, every month that you don't do this right. So you have to look at the investment that you have to make of time and money versus how much you're losing in time and money and your life waiting and doing it wrong or not having it done the right way at all anyway. And so many of you are looking at the investment and you're going, well, I can't afford it. Well, how can you afford to keep not making the money you're capable of making and build your business? Like it doesn't make any logical sense to me that your Frankie's brain is focusing on that and not doing what you need to do to really build a business. That's like a doctor saying, I want to be a doctor. I don't want to go to med school. A lawyer saying, I want to be a lawyer. I don't want to go to law school. An engineer going, I want to be an engineer. I don't want to go to engineering school and learn how to do it. Business is a skill, and many of you simply don't have all the skills necessary, and you're confusing having a great program, product, or service with the skill to build a business. And until you develop the skill to build a business, either through trial and error, which 90% of people, 92% actually, fail because there's so many options like a Rubik's Cube, they give up. Or they settle. And unfortunately, you don't have that luxury of settling that much anymore, because it's going to be easier for people that are to compete against you and to do some of the things I've been sharing with you faster, easier, better than you at a tenth of the time and money. So in a month, you're either going to feel, regretful, or in 6 months, possibly regretful, or you could feel elated and feel like you're making progress. This is one of the best investments, which means there's an expected return on the investment. And I'll end by saying this. If your stockbroker called you up today and said, hey, I want you to invest $10,000, I guarantee you're going to make $20,000 in the next year. How many of you would invest $10,000 to make $20,000 in 1 year? If your real estate agent called you up and said, hey, invest $100,000 in this home, it'll be worth $200,000 by the end of the year. How many of you would find $100,000? Right? And well, what have I said to you? Invest in the 6 months or 12 months program. I guarantee you'll double your investment. I've put it in writing. I've said it 100 times. And yet some of you are still afraid. Imagine your brother, sister, friend said to you, I've got a guaranteed way to double your money in 1 year in the stock market. Invest $5,000, you're going to make $10,000. Do you know what a normal return in the stock market is a year? On a good year? Right? 10, 12, 15, 18, 20% is great. So put things into perspective. All right, Carolyn, thank you for doing such a great job. I hope you all have enjoyed the Business Breakthrough Challenge. We have one more day in 2 days. And what I want you to also imagine is I want you to imagine yourself in 30 days from now having more self-confidence and more certainty. 30 days from now having some systems and processes in place to do more lead generation and sell better. 30 to 60 days from now, making more sales or sooner using the methodologies that we have. And in 3 months and 6 months from now, you're a totally different entrepreneur. You have a new self-image, new self-worth, higher level of self-confidence and certainty in yourself. And you're able to build your business so that it works for you. And you have some asset that you can maybe one day sell, or grow and scale. But you're not growing and scaling without infrastructure and systems and processes, all of which we have. So you don't have to spend millions of dollars like it took us to create and put all the lessons that all of our students have shared with us as well. So thank you for another great day. Tomorrow is an off day. We'll put a link for those of you that still want to sign up. If any of you have any questions, you can talk to Carolyn. She will, since she's been here all these days, she can answer any of your questions. If you're sitting on the fence and you have questions, talk to Carolyn. All right. And Carolyn, how do people get a hold of you?
You can message me right now in the chat. I'm not going to hop off so quick.
Okay. Then you can stay on with everybody, let her know you have a question, and you can exchange ways to get together. Appreciate you all. I'm going to have lunch and then I'm going to get on some other calls. Appreciate you. Arrivederci. See you all on Thursday, and get ready to have your minds expanded even more with AI. I'll show you some insanely awesome tools. And make sure you sign up today, get into the program, start inner-sizing. And Carolyn, you give them the schedule for what's coming up. Bye, everyone.
Yes, I will.
See you Thursday.